Someone name a raid. A Legion or Prior raid, preferably. There's only a few games I could play while keeping my full attention on something other than the game I'm playing. This is one of them. Nighthold? That might be tricky. We could try it. I've never done Nighthold solo. I was rather hoping for an actual answer, Alex. Oh, thank you for telling me, Alex. Or, Alex, I mean Valerian. As you may or may not be aware, I get 0 notifications of those, so I have to go check those manually. Hello, History Maker. Whisper, 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 whisper. There it is. Hang on. I'll add you real quick. Right now. I'll do it right now. Give me just a sec while we get started here. Remember, for those of you just joining us, we still have the 2 rules. The 2 rules have not changed. The 2 rules do not change. I mean, Rule 0 is kind of Rule 0, you know what I mean? Hang on. Friends, how do I add a friend? Do I have a friends list? Yeah, who wants to ask first? Oh, that sucks. Well, I hope you've been enjoying Valerian. It's for the job, Lord Harriman. I've actually been recording footage, and also the events happening in like 2 weeks. Whichever's the one I'm wearing right now is it's there. How do I add a friend? Net negative to me, Alex. Hello, free. I'm sorry, does anyone know how to add a friend in Discord? Hey, Zeronali. Yeah, I actually just added that command last night for this stream. Honestly, those commands are just kind of all over the place. Person icon with a plus next to it. I am not seeing that. Wait, I found it. Sent? Hypothetically? Confirm, deny? I mean, I guess I'll see if you accept it here. Cool. Awesome. Gonna pop off Discord. Sorry, I don't like having Discord up when I'm streaming. Okay. Dealt with. Alright. Nighthold. Thoughts on the latter half of BFA? There's some good stuff there. Really good stuff. And then there's some really bad stuff. Polemic Day so far is going really legit. I am most likely going to upload the VOD. We're going to see how we go going forwards. So, idea for homelessness. Public housing. Nothing fancy. Give them a few job options, mostly local stuff. Thoughts? Done. Let's do it. That sounds legit to me. And as I've already said, I think we can fix the economic side of things to ensure that the money's going to be there to afford the housing and afford the work. So, yeah, no, done. How do I get to... Right, I gotta do this, don't I? So, thoughts on PMCs. Murder for profit. I mean, mercenaries have been a very, 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 very long institution in human society. So... I don't really think it's going away. I think it should. At the same time, I do have to admit, the idea of a PMC doesn't actually bother me. It's more like the application of PMCs tends to bother me, which I suppose is a lot of things. I think you're right, actually, Valerian. That's not a bad point. Do I think the U.S. is in danger of a legit civil war over the next 20 to 50 years? Really? No, I don't. Yeah, like I said, we can go back a ways for that. Excuse me. Let's just do normal Nighthold. I think it's time to pull out of the Middle East. Dude, it's been time to pull out of the Middle East for about... God, that's a good question. I'd go at least back to when the Persian Empire fell. So that's, what, 1,800 years? 1,600 years? Something like that? I'm not sure the exact dates. This way. Yeah, the Ottomans, not a good answer. Does the Empire support PMCs? I haven't decided. I suppose the answer would be no. Oh yeah, by the way, during the break, I went ahead and grabbed this boy. For anybody who hasn't seen it, I just want to show it off briefly because I love this sword. I really do. I mean, yeah, Lich King, and yeah, Warcraft. But even ignoring the Lich King thing, and even ignoring the Warcraft thing, this is such an awesome sword. It has great weight to it. It's really comfortable to hold. It's a perfect two-handed sword. It is perfect. Look at this. It is perfect hilt for a two-handed sword. This thing is fantastic. I love this sword. Agreed. Sykes-Picot, which I'm pronouncing wrong. That was a bad idea. That was a dumb idea. On, well, most levels. I can't say every level, but we actually talked about that during the Call of Duty lore run. So if you want to see me discuss that in slightly more in depth, it does actually come up there. Oh, this is a bludgeoning weapon. This is a bludgeoning weapon, and it would be wonderful at being a mace. And I actually do know how to fight with a mace. Not as well, but I could do it. Anyways, moving on. So, what questions I missed? Do I have a distaste for the Middle East in general? So that's an interesting question. The answer is no. I have a distaste for the stuff that's been happening in the Middle East, which isn't really exclusive to the Middle East. That's all over the place, right? You know what I mean? The location doesn't bother me. Everything else does. I mean, again, I literally have family from Lebanon. That would be 2 generations up, 3 generations, whatever that is. My great-grandfather on my father's side is from Lebanon. Am I not? Oh, okay. Oh, right, because we're doing heroic. Duh. The same place I learned to do most of the things in my life, nerd picks. Practice and time. Do I feel that things will return to a more balanced equilibrium before it breaks? That's a coin flip, if I'm being honest. Am I the right spec right now? I don't think I am. Hang on. I hit this button, that'll tell me. Nope, I am the wrong spec. Well, that'll explain a few things. I guess it could work. We'll try it, sure. We'll try the wrong spec. Let's see how this works. Which Star Wars question would you like to ask, Pillars? Because there are several. I have no idea, Magister. Could any president in U.S. history lift Thor's hammer? Probably not. Spinobi, General Spinobi, excuse me, is awesome. Thank you, Spinobi. Always appreciate. Thank you. If you happen to know where you want to put that one, let me know. Kennedy? Sorry. No. No, 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 no. I'm sad that he died. But no. Thoughts on the Truman Doctrine? Ugh. That's my thoughts on the Truman Doctrine. So we're going to try this while being in DPS stance. Let's see how this works out. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Nobody could pick up the hammer. We're done. Yes, that's my cue to take a drink. Hang on, let me pause for just a second. Okay, there we go. Trickle-down economics is stupid. It is pretty much exactly the opposite of what it should be. It should be this is of course opinion, but this is strong opinion. It should be trickle-up economics, not trickle down. We actually talked about that earlier. You missed it, of course, Alex. That's okay. I'm blind. Assuming there is a VOD, you can go watch the VOD. Have you seen Hamilton? No. I almost did, but basically I don't really do movies on my own unless it's for the show. So, nobody else wanted to watch it, so that didn't happen. Yeah, build up. That's a good way to put that, House. Build up economics. That's how an economic system should work, IMO. Should you take your kids trick-or-treating? I mean, I wouldn't, but that's just caution. You know, I'm a cautious person by default. My niece will not be trick-or-treating. Make of that what you will. I guess we were fine with DPS spec. Ooh. Ooh, that's a hat I actually want, too. Nice. Transmog, sorry. Would I rather see only Abrams or only RJ? Who's RJ? Oh, right, Ryan Johnson. Abrams. Don't mistake me. Ryan Johnson is actually a talented person. In fact, if you haven't seen Knives Out, allow me to personally recommend you see that. I'm actually doing a rumination on that. And by I already have done a rumination on that for next year. But, yeah, no, it's a good movie. You should see it. But, yeah, I would recommend, Abrams over RJ for Star Wars, just because at the very least, that's a difficult concept. And you know what? I'm not even sure I want to dip into that one. Ryan Johnson's good at what he's good at. I don't think he's good at other people's stuff. There we go. That's how I want to phrase that. Abrams, by contrast, he's going to make some stupid stuff, but his stupid stuff is going to be well made. I know that's not exactly the best, but, I mean, you asked me to... Would you like to be shot in the foot or the leg? I mean, these are the questions you gave me. What do you want from me? Gotcha, Hazardous. Right to repair. I feel like I already... Oh, release diagnostic tools. I would go ahead and say I'm in favor of that. And I know that would diminish return sales, but frankly, I've always thought that's an invalid business model. That's actually a really complex topic. The idea is... Hang on, Zeronolite, I'm not ignoring you. By the way, Zeronolite, you didn't see it earlier. If I don't respond to you, I'm not ignoring you. I didn't catch it, okay? If I don't want to talk about something, I will say pass, okay? So that's the rule for anybody who wasn't here earlier. That's the rule. If I say pass, then I'm not talking about it. If I don't say anything, it's because I'm getting distracted. Cool? Cool. All right. So, I'm sorry about the keyboard noises. I'm a confirmation clicker. There's a strong economic theory, which I actually disagree with, which boils down to you should try to ensure repeat sales. Why should I try to sell a good, long-lasting product that someone can use for the next 20 years when I could sell them a piece of crap that they can use for the next 1 year and they'll have to buy a new model next year? That's that line of thinking. I disagree with that for a lot of reasons. I don't want to get fully in-depth into it because that's... God, it's a complex thing. It's a big, old, complex thing. The long and the short of it is I don't agree with that. I don't think that it is an acceptable, even from a pure economic perspective. I think that ensuring you have a cycle of buyers, ensuring a regular flow-through of economic income, is more valid and important than trying to squeeze pennies by diminishing customer returns, while at the same time trying to ensure an increasing market share in an environment where that money is going towards the wrong places. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to say stuff like that. Whew. I mean, you heard me talk earlier about the distribution of product. That's kind of related to that. How would I reform mental health care? Health care? Hang on. Let's rewind for a second. Feminism, or feminine... What was the question, Zeronoli? It was like females in gaming? I'm going to need you to... Let me just ask you to clarify that. Let me just ask for a straight clarification before I just start talking about, oh... Anyways, hair care is important. How would I reform the mental health care system? One of my girlfriends... I know this is a weird place to start, but bear me out for a second. One of my girlfriends was really interested in mental health care. I keep saying hair care. Oh my god, you poisoned me. And the reason I bring that up is actually a decent amount of my current knowledge and understanding of mental health actually comes from her. Because obviously she was interested in it, so I was interested in it. That's how that works. Now, what I got from her was actually really simple. There's plenty of people, individual people, who will volunteer time and effort and care. You know, that's not the issue. In fact, to be perfectly frank, I think that's not an issue in regular healthcare as well. I think the issue is more along the lines of the fact that there's I don't know how to fix it. There, let's give the summary. I don't know how to fix it. Oh, by the way, don't leave yet, Platty. We still need to talk about donuts. I haven't forgotten. I don't know how to fix it because there's two overwhelming problems there. One is the diamond industry, that is health industry in general. That's something that we can solve. But that won't necessarily make mental health better, or mental health care better. The other thing needs to be solved as well, and that's getting rid of the attitude. I don't know what else to call it. Getting rid of the biases that I myself also have, by the way. I will freely admit to my own ignorance on the matter. But there's biases and there's attitude with regards to mental health issues. How many of you, we've talked about this. Yeah, the stigma, that's a great word, stigma. How many of you have ever heard this? Oh, you just need to suck it up. I mean, I could keep going, but I don't have to. That one line, and all that it implies, is really all I need to say to get across the mentality. Suck it up. Live with it. Hang on. Neat Plates. Neat Plates is the name of that add-on. Yeah, so needs to get rid of that stigma. How do we get rid of stigma? Well, believe it or not, I actually talk about that in an upcoming Enterprise rumination. Of all things. It's the episode where Vulcans who can mind meld have a stigma attached to them. You probably don't remember that episode. I don't blame you. Most people probably don't remember Enterprise. It's actually a really good episode. It handles the topic astonishingly well, despite the fact that it was corporate mandated. Go figure. Anyways. There's a complex solution to that, but what it boils down to is normalize it. I keep talking about systemic stuff. We need to make it so it's normal. We need to make it so that it's normal to have mental health issues. It's normal to admit that and seek health for that. We don't have a stigma against going to the doctor for the flu. Oh wait, yes we actually do in corporate America. Let's not go into that. Right? F, Sean. Normalize it. Once it's normal, one way or the other, whether you're for it or against it, it'll be every day. And once it's every day, people will just kind of treat it like it's an everyday thing, which means, by natural consequence, that stigma will slowly diminish in saturation. Bam. Alright, now, that's one question of the, 50 I just got. Someone help me with another one. Oh yeah, with female characters in video games. God, I don't know, dude. I'm the wrong person to ask that, not only because I'm a guy, so I don't have a right to say anything about that. I say that somewhat jokingly. But the real reason I bring it up is because I don't, when I'm writing characters, usually their gender is one of the last things I come up with, because it just really doesn't matter to me. It's like one of the least important... one of the least important things with regards to relevance to a character. Are they a good character? Yes. There you go. Bamf. Can I think of good female characters? Abso-friggin-lutely. I can think of quite a few. Can I think of some dumb ones? Oh, yeah. There you go. There's your answer. Damn it, Hazardous. Now, I will say this. There is my opinion, there is a very dangerous line there that you kind of have to dance back and forth on. Because if you're only including a female character to include a female character, you've probably screwed up. However, if you include a female character just to include a female character, but go out of your way to make her a very good character, well, then that's okay. But if you include a female character, and it doesn't have to be female, you can list whatever you want here. If you include someone to be inclusive, and for no other reason, you're going to have an uphill battle with making that more interesting. But if you bother to make the effort to make them an interesting character, a good character, then we good, yo. I point to The Outer Worlds, which has an asexual character. I'm not even sure I can think of another good asexual character in fiction. She's a great character. She's my favorite character in that game. But not because she's asexual. It's just the fact that she's a great character. Period. New sentence. And she is asexual. You see the logic there? I've argued for years that intent matters, and I stand by that statement. But execution also matters. And I agree, it is better to simply start with, let's make a good character. You know what? I don't have any X in this. Let's turn them into that. Now we have to do our research to make sure that we understand, that we represent it properly, and we don't just get across some kind of thing, right? You get the idea. Do I think GDQ has become too corporate over the years? Nope. Now here's the thing. I know that's the most controversial... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Controversial thing I've been asked today. Or answered? Whatever, you get the idea. I am not one of the anti-GDQ naysayists. Now, it's worth noting that there are legitimate complaints to have about GDQ, because GDQ has certainly gotten more corporate. Absolutely. Do I think that's necessarily a bad thing? Not really. And do I think they've gone overboard? No. I think the main issue that GDQ has is there are a few bad apples who are ruining things for everything else. That probably sounds familiar. There are certainly individual people who are way too over the top when it comes to... No, I'm not going to name names. Don't ask me to. But those individual people, those are the problem. My opinion. Next. Would I call Ellie from Last of Us a good character? From 1? Yes. From 2? Not really. But then again, I wasn't really into 2. Is Wakanda different from Code of Honor? Yes! Oh my god, yes. Thoughts on Jim Sterling? I'm not sure I have any. He's a guy who's way more successful than I am. There you go. And I'm really sorry he had to put up with that spurious lawsuit, which was very spurious and dumb and stupid. Thank God it actually was only as bad as it was, because that could go down from there. Trust me! What fictional afterlife would I wish actually exists? Oh, that's a tough one. If you asked me that question about a year ago, I'd say Warcraft. Because back in the day, remember when we called it the light and the dark? Now we have this whole Shadowlands thing and this whole multiple layers of the afterlife thing, which is not quite a retcon, more of a clarification thing. There are certainly retcons involved. That's not what I'm talking about. Anyways, point being, now, I'm not sure. I suppose it would depend how much baggage comes with it. Like, if I add Forgotten Realms, does that add all those deities? Because that's a mess. Thank you, Paranoid Android. Very, very much appreciate for 1 full year of support. You were awesome. Thank you so, so much. I'll put that towards... what is that? What was that? What was that? Civ 2. Civ 2. There it is. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Do I belong to a particular faith? Pass! Although that is... I've been asked that question a lot today. God. Usually... Okay, so I'm going to go and explain why I'm passing on that one. And my answer is very, very simple. Because I don't think it frickin' matters. If I decided to out myself as a Hindi, or a Zoroastrian, or whatever it is I decide to out myself as, all that's going to do is attach a label to me, which, frankly, I'm not really interested in labeling myself to begin with. And to be perfectly blunt, it doesn't change anything, whatever I may or may not believe. So, pass. Are quantum Presbyterians real things? What's a quantum Presbyterian? Like, I know what a Presbyterian is. Thoughts on Biden? Don't have any. Also, I don't want to give too many opinions on that because that's related to the religion question. You're like, wait, Biden's related to religion? No. See, and I talked about this earlier. Oh, it's a Simpsons reference. God, I can't believe I didn't get that. The moment you oust yourself, the moment you declare for a side, you're branded. Okay, now you're this side. Now you're part of this team. And that is a source of so many issues in human society. We talked about that earlier, so I don't want to recover that ground. But all I'm going to say is that I'm going to avoid certain topics because, perfectly frankly, I don't actually want to even be perceived as being a part of one team or another. To be perfectly blunt, I'm not. I'll go ahead and tell you that. There's no team that I ascribe to. I suppose I could segue into a topic, but you guys still have questions, and I don't want to block you with mine. I do have some topics. Afterlife? Pass! Marge is the best member of the family? Yes. That's true, Spinobi. That is true. I actually feel more comfortable talking about religion because I study history. You know? But most people don't distinguish religion from faith or belief, so I usually just avoid the topic in its entirety. To be clear, let me use a specific answer. I actually know personally, in person, several people who are Catholic. They're cool. Right? They're good folk. That's not going to stop me from absolutely lambasting the Catholic faith historically, because holy crap, that church got up to some stuff. I'm not even talking about the really horrible stuff. I'm just talking about the political stuff. Still cool people. It's okay. I haven't actually declared Fiendish Dogtail. What was your question, Zawan? I'm sorry. Was I present for the... Yes, I was, Pernodendra. I was there for that. Hang on, someone asked something. Thoughts on hierarchy? You're going to have to clarify that one. Thoughts on anarchy? You're going to have to clarify that one. And there was another one. Scroll up. Someone was asking me... I've lost it. Chat's going by really quick. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. Adding inclusiveness after the fact? Okay, so I don't want to automatically say that's a bad thing, but that's like 90% of the time a bad thing in my opinion. The reason why is because at that point it is effectively just petty. It's like, oh no, I'm cool with you too. I didn't think about it in advance, but I'm cool with you too. That does not necessarily make it a bad thing. For example, oh god, it didn't even occur to me. Who would be a good character to be homosexual in this work? That one. And then you sit there and you decide they're homosexual. Now that's still not good, especially if you're just doing it for brownie points, but you can see how that's less bad. Because at that point what I'm doing is sitting and thinking about something that just slipped my mind while I was writing the story, right? Now if I'm doing that because, yeah, no, hello fellow gay person, I am totally down with the gays, then you know, we have a problem, right? Personal views on communism. God, you clarify. Do I like Godzilla, King Kong, or giant monster films? Not really. I don't dislike them. I just don't like them. Do I think we've been visited by extraterrestrials? If they have visited us, do I think an economically classless society is possible in reality? Yes. Do I think it's feasible? No. Yeah, that, like I said, there's gradients there, Hasdus. It's just statistically probably a bad thing. But not always. I don't want to be so 100% on that. So anarchy is to remove hierarchy entirety. Well, that doesn't sound like the stupidest idea. I'm sorry, I say that a lot to you, Gum Gum. I'm mostly memeing. We are structured people. We are a structured species. Even actually removing any form of hierarchy or chain of command is just not going to work. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not going to work on any scale. The only way that's going to work is at the town level, and that's at the high end. You want to have an anarchy in a town? Okay, that might work out. You want to have anarchy on a county? Probably not. If you want anarchy at a state, you're already failing. If you want anarchy at a nation, you're gone, buddy. And so forth and so on. See, the problem is, all that would happen if you did that is it would just be like, all right, there's no rules and there's no laws, but, you know, hey, Gum Gum, if you decide to support me on this thing, if you help me work out on this issue, I'll help you work out on that issue. And if you want me to work on this issue too? Okay, I can do that, but how about we work with this person too? Or what about this person over here? Develop, and we've got a system. So even if we did actually have anarchy, it would, in my opinion, over time, devolve out of anarchy. I like this raid, by the way. This is one of my favorite raids in Legion. Legion had some good raids. I think the Egyptian pyramids and the Sphinx were built during the Old Kingdom. I don't know. Skink, that's a good one. What about each film in the Star Wars sequel trilogy was good, bad, or disappointing? So, Force Awakens, good cinematography, and not Poe. Oh god, I can't think of the Stormtrooper. I can't think of his name. Stormtrooper dude, he's awesome. Bad, everything to do with the First Order. Disappointing. Finn. Thank you, Finn. FN, whatever his number was. And then disappointing was... let's go with... What's the most disappointing thing about that film? I don't know. I can't come up with one. For Last Jedi, favorite thing... Honestly, the connection between Kylo and Rey, the characterization, the development between the two was just easily the best part of that film for me. Worst part of that film? That goddamn chase. I hate that stupid goddamn chase. Excuse my language. It's the worst part of the whole film for me. Creep, creep, creep. Arcing shot. Creep, creep, creep. God, that's so stupid at every level. Sorry, moving on. Disappointed? Planet Side Quest. As far as Rise of the Skywalker, the best part... I'm just going to say everything about Kylo Ren again and cheat, because he's just the best part of the sequel trilogy, in my opinion. Worst part would be everything to do with the Final Order. And most disappointing part would be the fact that there was no real big confrontation between Kylo and Palpatine. Okay, answer that one. Whew. Favorite whack job conspiracy in terms of ridiculousness? Aww. I'm coming up empty. I can't think of one. I'm sorry. So, communist, hang on. Colin Peluso clarified. I don't want to ignore him. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Way scroll up. Marxist fundamental view of communism as a better option. I hate to ask this. Do you mind defining that for me? Because I have a really bad habit of getting communism and socialism confused. Because one of them is... I can't pause this game. One of them is the state owns everything and determines everything for you. And one of them is everyone owns everything and no one owns anything. And I don't know which is which. I could also still be getting that wrong. So communism, the state owns. Socialism, the world. Okay, so commie is the one where the state owns everything. Okay, so... I don't think I have any thoughts on that other than the thoughts I've said many times before. So forgive me for quoting myself from, that would have been my junior year of high school. And I'm going to... So quoting myself from junior year of high school. Hey, there's planets in space. That's cool. The problem with communism isn't the system, it's the people. Does that answer you, Colin Palooza? Hey, look! There's a planet which has been... It's not Argus, is it? Nope. There's a planet which has been absolutely destroyed by the Legion. That's cool. Oh, yeah, plenty, Justin. Can't think of any off the top of my head, but there are plenty. It's I do think communism historically gets a pretty bad rap, but I think that's because it's just, well, because of corrupt and greedy people. No, this is a full-on raid. I'm high enough level to do it, and I also know what I'm doing. I know these fights. What did I eat today? I don't know if I'm going to tell you that. I ate that planet back there. You can check it out. You can see the tentacles are even moving. I ate leftover rice with a little bit of chicken. For breakfast and lunch. I was in a hurry. Would I say capitalism and communism are near one of the same? Define capitalism for me. Stuck on the thing. There we go. Thank you, Sonic Doctor. I have actually lost weight. I can prove I've lost weight, not only because my weight is down, but because, you know, I can stretch in ways I otherwise couldn't. So that's really awesome that someone noticed. Sorry. Anyways, do I think BFA should have skipped the war? Yes. You didn't even have to, I don't even have to read the rest of that sentence. The answer is yes. What's my sis say? She thinks I've been looking better ever since I started using the Ring Fit thing. I have no idea. I actually thought about today, instead of wearing the orange shirt that I have for these days, I thought about wearing one of my exercise shirts because they're medium, which is actually my... this is extra, extra large, which I wear because of comfort. But my actual size, the size of shirt that fits me, is medium. It depends sometimes, obviously. Sometimes it's medium, sometimes it's large. You know how that works out. Yeah, exactly, Wanta. We're getting involved. But we don't have any powers. Yes, you do. You already retconned that. Get involved. So I thought about wearing a medium shirt just to be like, but then I thought people would think I'm weird. I'm not really flexing so much as I'm just happy about it. Anyways. Could you stop with this? Purple, Vanessa. They are doing well as they can be. What I think will happen if Trump loses and doesn't step down? A lot of yelling and noise and no actual problems, and then there will be some political wrangling, and then there will be some nonsense and more noise, and a whole lot of nothing will happen for a long period of time. That's what I think. By the way, I think that's what's going to happen anyways, but that's neither here nor there. What do you think of the non-war side of BFA? Actually, it's pretty good. There are good elements to BFA. I fell out of love with WoW during BFA, but there's some good elements there. So, hang on. Let's just be clear about this. Your definition of capitalism. Gum. I mean, they're in the way, Lonely Dambo. They'll aggro me otherwise. See? They kind of, with the recent thing, they sort of changed the way aggroing... Well, okay, that's not true. Because the gap between our levels is smaller, they aggro from shorter. So I have to kill more trash, that's all. Well, you owe me a sub in, I'd say, probably about 2 months. What did WoW do that destroyed my home? So I'd say the atrocity of Teldrassil, but that's being dismissive because you don't actually understand. What I mean by that is... I don't know, this is the route I always take, Lonely Danbo. I don't know. This is the route we used to take back in the day. The game took me and said, hey, Lore, you just committed an atrocity. Don't you feel so terrible about that? And I'm like, but I didn't. I would never commit that atrocity. But you did! You did! How could you, Lore? But no, I didn't, and I wouldn't. Hell, ignoring the fact that I wouldn't, my character wouldn't, completely regardless of me. No, but you did! That's point one. Point two was all of the characters that probably should have similarly been like, whoa, dude, what the hell? And pulled out of that, also didn't. They decided to just kind of peace out and hang out for months. Before finally deciding, oh yeah, no, it's terrible, it's terrible. I've finally decided to do something about it. This is just one straw too far. It's actually a little more complex than that. But the way they handled the plot, not the story, not the characters, not the individual mini-thing, but the plot of BFA, completely destroyed my love of this game. And that's not something that can come back, and honestly is probably never going to come back. Sorry, I actually answered that like yesterday, Lunareth, so I apologize for not answering it recently. This is getting a little mean, holy crap. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. Oh, I don't even know what killed me. Holy crap, never died on that fight before. What was doing the major damage? Recursive? No, that's not it. Oh, of course I don't even see. Whatever. Release. I guess it was recursive. Maybe I just didn't kill him quickly enough. Is Monopoly playing on pure capitalism? No, Shadow Machine is. Have I seen Shin Godzilla? No, I have not, sadly. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Whoops, there we go. Excited for War Chief Gaming. I'm actually going to bring that up tomorrow, but yes. What's my favorite Formula 1 driver? Oh, I'm sorry, Lunareth. I apologize. I was not deliberately ignoring you, I swear. That's just weird, because that actually came up this week, and I answered that question earlier this week. That's why it's so fresh in my memory. That's why I had the prepared answer there, you know. I have to switch to DPS for this one. Okay, so hang on. Formula One. Honestly, Schumacher is actually my first thought. But after Schumacher, since obviously he's not driving anymore, I was rather fond of Ricardo and Alonso. There you go. There's my two picks. Ricardo and Alonso. Or Schumacher. Favorite football team? Yeah, Liverpool. Go Liverpool. So, Shadow Machine, first of all, I can't. It's funded. I know the website's not updated. The upcoming page is actually up. No, it is updated. I bothered to update the website. The website is updated. So screw you. I did my due diligence. But yeah, it's full. It's done. It's funded. So you have to pick something else. Second of all, thank you very, very much, Shadow Machine. And I've already started bowing, so I can't stop now. But now I have to bow to Smoothie Life. Thank you, Smoothie Life, so, so much. Always appreciate both of you. Thank you. Least favorite Formula One driver? Hamilton. I freaking hate Hamilton. So that's Golden Deer. Smoothie Life. Would you like to know where you'd like to go towards? Yeah, we'll try that. We'll try that. I'm just... Sorry, my nose itches, and it feels like there's something in it, but there isn't. Every time I check, there's nothing there. No boogers. Like it feels like there's a hair that's loose. You know what I mean? Anyways, I don't know who Chris Chan is. Holy crap. Oh, you know what? Okay, he's actually my favorite old. Okay, so I take back my answer. After Schumacher, I'm going to pick Kimi Räikkönen. That's my new pick. If I have to explain, it's okay. I'm not going to, but if you're familiar with Formula One, you already know why I pick him. I forgot about him, I forgot. Kimmy's amazing. What are you doing, guys? Okay. So, hang on. I saw what would I say fiction misunderstands most in terms of topic? Time and scale. Oh god, I wasn't looking at the screen for 5 seconds. I'm on the verge of death. And I can't move still because of this root. I've never been rooted. That's what I'm weirded out by. I'm just rooted. And there's nothing I can do about it. And I don't remember this issue. I think it's because I usually do this as a warrior. Yeah, 10,000 years. I mean, that is it. That is related to that exact issue. I'm gonna die again. Well, I'll just give up on the raid then. It's not a big deal. I'm not actually here for anything. So I'm gonna pick another raid. Thank you, Spinobi. Very, very much. And I didn't hear from Smoothie Life what you wanted to put yours to. ICC, you got it. I know where to go to that. There. Oh, there it is. Blue Lions. Blue Lions. You got it, Spinobi. Thank you again, sir, very, very much. The starting zone's out yet? Yes. And yes, respectively, to your second question. That went live with the Acclamation patch, which went live like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I haven't done them yet. I need to record them. Child soldiers. Nope. Like I said earlier, some topics are just nope. And that, sorry, what I mean by that is, I'm sorry. I'm not vetoing the topic. My answer to you in character, in topic, is screw child soldiers. We were talking about child labor earlier. Child soldiers is another no. Do I know when they happen in lore? No, again, I haven't done it yet. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. I haven't done it yet, Bellatrix, I don't know. Ah, it's fine, Lonely Dambo. I'm just, like I said, I'm not invested. I was just roaming around. Usually I do this with 2 people. Well, Edelgard is the best because she's super hot. Lore runs I'd like to properly remake someday. Truthfully, none. The only one I've even considered is not happening. Favorite WoW character? Oh, geez, I don't know. The Lich King. There you go. Favorite rally driver? Yeah, Science would probably be my pick, too. You know, Bernadetta was awesome. I don't find her attractive, I just think she's an awesome character. Would I do a Fallout lore run? No. Would I do a Fallout lore run? Yes. The New Vegas run, you probably haven't noticed lately, but I bothered to go back and rebrand and re-thumbnail all the New Vegas streams. Thought about deleting them to make it clear they are not lore runs, because they're not. I tend to prefer the second Lich King. The third Lich King had a lot of potential, which they kind of haven't done anything with. And at this point, we'll see what they do with it, because he's still a character. He's still an active character. So, we'll see. Have I read a canticle for Lebowitz? No, I have not. I'm sorry. Would I say we get a majority of our stuff from the military? I have no idea. That doesn't sound like an opinion question. That sounds like a, hey, where's this come from? Well, you see, babies, when we're born... I don't know why I'm killing all these guys. Hang on, if it's okay with you, I'd like to switch to in-game music for this, because I really like the music in Citadel. This is actually my favorite raid in the whole game right here, by the way. Boop. Favorite class in lore? Oh, that shouldn't be making that noise. Did that get reset with the... Sorry, I'm still kind of rejiggering my add-ons. That's DBM. I can just turn DBM off for the moment. I don't need it. I know what I'm doing. Down. DBM in general. Reload. Do we rely too much on the military? Hang on. Do we rely too much on the military? Answer, which is a very different question. Define we? You guys voted for it, Spinobi. Don't worry, we'll do it at some point. I mean, both Blue Lions and Golden Deer are on the list. The U.S. economy... I mean, okay, the real answer, yes, absolutely. Every country ever relies on the military too much. Does that make you happier? I don't know if that's true or not. I really don't. So I have no idea. If I could wish magic into existence and anyone could use it, would you? No. I do not trust other people with magic. Yes, I know that's egotistical and bigoted. Or not bigoted. Egotistical and elitist. There we go, that's the word. It's egotistical and elitist. No, I do not care. I do not trust other people with the ability to cast. Thoughts on doing another roleplay run? Probably never happening. At this point, I barely keep up with my streaming schedule as is, and we might be opening things up even more in a minute. By in a minute, I mean tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow, don't worry. Why does federal police exist? I don't know. I don't know where that came from. How horrible is it that they don't wear identification? Okay. So I don't want to talk about cops. You know why. But I will say this. It is my opinion, and I know this is a weird opinion, and this is an opinion that's kind of developed over time. I didn't used to think this way. It is my opinion that if you sit down and sign up for a dangerous and risky job, you don't have as much of a right to complain about when the job is risky and dangerous. Now, you're probably thinking, what does that have to do with that? Well, most of the reasoning that I tend to hear when it comes to why police, we'll use police specifically, tend to escalate, tend to shoot first, ask questions later, tend to approach, like, okay, let me give you a specific example. If there was a raid, if someone decided to rush in right now into my apartment here and try to attack me, if police came in and were like, oh, right now, right? Let's assume I own a dog. Now, that dog, statistically speaking, is likely to start getting up and barking because the cops are coming in, right? The cops have all the legal right to shoot that dog dead on sight. Now, the excuse for that is because their livelihood is in danger. Because they don't know that that may or may not be a safe dog. That may or may not actually cause them danger. But you see why I started with the "you accepted the risks" argument. I'm one of those, I would rather guilty people go free than innocent people be jailed people. That's the side of that argument I sit on. It's one of a very few arguments where I will strongly, firmly be on one particular side of an argument. I think that they should not open with that kind of automatic violence thing because of the fact that they, because it's a risk. Not for me. That's my opinion. I forget what that was in relation to. Who was asking that for? Oh yeah, the non-identification thing. That's related to your question, Houses, because that's one of the biggest excuses I hear for the non-identification thing. They need to defend themselves. Yet no. Hang on just a sec. I want to be super efficient about this. So someone asked me a question about gaming, and I completely missed it. I saw it breeze by, and I was in the middle of talking. And I can do a lot, but talking and reading is something that's problematic. Oh, they can get spooked. I'm not trying to say that they need to be perfect. Don't mistake me. However, I do think the argument of, well, we have to, because escalation, is an invalid one. I didn't used to think that way, like I said. Time and experience and a few studies have changed my mind on that one. I hope you've been enjoying it, Zactaft. We've been bouncing around, General. Right now I'm trying to answer questions, basically rapid fire. That's why I'm playing WoW. I can think while I play WoW. So hang on, I'm just going to scroll up, because it was from Zawan. Do I think video gaming in general is heading in a good direction? That's a good question. The answer is yes. Absolutely. Now you're probably thinking, what? Believe it or not, I have a topic prepared for that. What was my favorite Afterlife short? The one with Uther. Bar none. Godzilla's awesome, bio. Yes, you can ask your question. Alright, my favorite part of the raid. This is a lie. I really don't like this part of the raid. This is terrible. God, what is up with my nose? Just itches. I don't like the song. What's up, Sarfang the Lesser? I'm not sure what I think of it so far, Ganas. I'm not going to answer in detail because I'm going to avoid spoilers, but I'm not sure what I think of it. I will admit I've been theorizing that myself. In fact, I talked about that during the Legion lore run. As a theory. A topic for today. Sorry, Zawan. That's good clarification. Is gaming becoming more mainstream, good or bad? Yes. Why won't I let you put Luffy 2 on the damn list? Show up tomorrow. We'll talk about it. Do I think the MCU can recover from COVID? Yeah. What do I think of the concept of agencies existing? Yes. Yes, we should have organized spy organizations. Gedder. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people who believes very firmly in the peaceful application and peaceful usage of intelligence when it comes to managing a government. What do I feel about doctor-assisted suicide? I might pass on that one. See, here's the thing. I have not popular thoughts on suicide, and I usually keep them to myself. Speaking as someone who has actively both wanted to and tried to end his life more than once. I mean, don't mistake me. Obviously, spy organizations can and have been used for bad intent over the years. Duh. I'm not trying to say that. But I do think that there's more good that net positive. I think spying is more a net positive than a net negative. Yeah, I feel like I owe you an answer. I think case by case. I think we should have good music again. I think that if my grandfather is full on has dementia and is at the point where he no longer has the ability to think for himself or recognize anything, and is losing the ability to function, I think that my parent should not have to support him for over a year in what is not even qualifying as human existence at great expense because it is illegal to euthanize him. Now, that is, of course, a very specific case, but that's why I say case by case. It was me, Tortunator, sorry. They paid me a lot of money for it. Now, that was a pretty specific case. But he was gone. He was fully gone. Hi, Bitter Dude, no more. Welcome to stream. You have picked a very interesting day to showing up on my stream, but you are more than welcome here, sir. You asked which fantasy setting would I be in, if I had a choice. So, I have a tier system, which you may or may not be familiar with. My question to you is, which tier are you asking that question? Because that changes the question dramatically. Who gets to decide? That is an excellent question, Lord Harriman. In that exact case, it would probably revolve around, I would think, let's go with 2 people who have to sign off on that from a medical perspective and or a mental health perspective. Because, like, for example, with my grandfather, this is a real story, by the way. I didn't make that up. Hi, Pyman. My grandfather really did have full tilt dementia. It was really easy and obvious to tell. So they could have brought in a nurse. They could have brought in a doc, as someone who was actually a mental health specialist or whatever. I'm not actually sure what that would be off the top of my head. And say, hey, look over it. Okay, he's got massive amounts of dementia. He's not going to get better. Other person comes in, goes down the list. Yes, he has it. The 2 sign off. This is now a legally acceptable thing. They then give it off to whoever is currently legally his guardian, which in this case was my dad. Dad, then, now that it is allowable, Dad makes the final call. Now, that's just off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a lot of flaws and problems with everything I just said. But that's kind of an off the top of my head answer to your question. Yeah, his passing was very expensive and painful. And in my opinion, he was not alive for most of it. I'm an idiot. I always forget to hit the valves every time. No one warned me. No one said. If I could be born in any country? Oh, geez, I don't know. The States. I only speak English, after all. Yeah, case by case. Like I said, case by case. It's not always valid. Let me use an opposite example. My great-great-grandmother was shoved into a home against her will. I've actually probably mentioned this before. And me and my mom were livid about this, because she was still fine, right? She was still cognizant and lucid and doing stuff and going out. She was fine. Then we put her into a home. She died very shortly thereafter. I'm not going to go into too many details, but you get what I'm implying. That would be a case where, for example, if the doctor was like, we should look into this. No! She was fine. Right? Wrong, because ever since they put her into a home, her life went to hell. So let us assume for a moment. Yeah, nope, I'm wigging this around on you. Sorry, I'm pulling a dumb. I shouldn't do that. If my great-great-grandmother went to the doctor and said, I would like to die. I do not wish to be in this home. I had a life. It was wonderful. That life has been taken from me. Then in my opinion, if she is being judged to be of sound mind by the doctor, by the nurse, then that is something that she should make the choice on. My opinion. I have been in several elder care homes in my life, thanks to partially the medical side of my family. I've seen 2 good ones, ever. Anyways, So, favorite character in Babylon 5, I think I saw that one somewhere there. It's actually a complete tie between two characters. Can anyone guess what they are? Can anyone tell me what they are? I have heard of The Good Place, but I have not seen it. No, Pyro, sorry. Do I think gamers are going to handle elderly better than previous generations? I don't think we're going to do it better or worse. Jakar and Londo. Yeah, you got that immediately. The Homes? Oh, God, it's the one. Where do I begin? Lack of care, lack of interest, lack of life, limited space, limited amenities, nothing to do. Just everything, everything. They were bad, dude. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Thank you, General Orthopox. Very, very much appreciate, sir. I missed the rest of your comment. It's already scrolled off. Hang on. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Oh, God, and Rax donated in the middle of that, too. Hang on. You're hitting me, guys. You're hitting me. Give me a sec. Okay, so that was General or... Oh, no, it wasn't... It was Rax. I'm sorry. God, no wonder. Normally, chat isn't going by so quickly I can keep track of this manually. I apologize. Thank you, Rax. Very, very much. Very much appreciate, as always, sir. It is good to see you, by the way. I know we don't interact a lot, so I hope you're doing okay-ish, given the circumstances. Scroll back down. Lack of good meals. That's another one. That's another one. Lack of good meals. Personnel. Yeah, no, the people who were hired were usually there because they didn't want to be. Or because they were doing a stint. I forget what it's called. But it's a thing where you have to take a certain type of job to either get or keep your medical license. It's a part of continuing education, but it's not continuing education itself. I can't remember what it's called. Forgive me. But yeah, plenty of people will do that, go to a nursing home and just do their stint. And they're just there to get that over with. And they hate it too. This is in-game music. I just did... Here, watch, see. Music. Music. See? Favorite raid from a lore perspective. That doesn't sound good, Rax. I'm sorry, dude. I know the feeling. Believe it or not. Do I have a religion? Pass! You are the... That's 5 times now someone's asked that. That has never been asked that often before. That's hysterical. And now I'm going blood rage. Oh, I'm so angry about it. The reason I am passing, because I've answered the other 4 times as well. The reason I'm passing on that is because, honestly, I don't think it really matters. And honestly, even if it did matter, I don't think it's anybody's business. Although I am, of course, presuming that you mean both faith, belief, and religion, which I qualify as 3 different things, but of course I do because I'm a geek. I tend to be a little more organized. Do I think cereal is a soup? No, don't be silly. It is an easy question to ask. It just doesn't matter at all. Yes, the spaghetti... I mean, obviously the Lich King... I'm just kidding. Is sushi a burrito? Nope. Is there any of the 3 I would answer? Nope. Actually, yes. Yes. I will answer one of those 3 questions. I do not belong to a religion. Now, to be 100% clear about that, what I mean is I do not belong to a political entity or organization that mandates certain types of beliefs and or faith. Okay? That's what I mean by that. There you go. See you around, Mendekler. Neither. Goofy movie. Hello, Ojunix. Ruby was okay, I guess. You too broad, Gum Gum. Narrow it down, narrow it down. Yeah, organized religion? Nope. Whether or not I believe anything, I believe something because I believe it, not because I'm part of a party. No offense intended whatsoever to anybody who belongs to a organized religion. That's not the point. It's just not for me. Oh, I'm sorry, bitter dude no more. So like tier 3? If I had to pick a fantasy setting to exist in tier 3, honestly, you're probably looking at the one I would pick. Warcraft. Azeroth, ah, God, I know Azeroth inside and out. I love the setting, I always have. I'd probably go with Azeroth if I had to pick one. I have 2 voicemails. That's interesting. One moment, please. No worries. It's just people asking people who are not me to vote because they think those people live here or have my phone number or whatever. Yeah, absolutely, Braven. Holy crap. Vigilant, thank you, Vigilant, very, very, very much. Ever and always appreciate, sir. Thank you. I do still have some topics. You guys just keep rapid-firing me, so I'm still not there. No, they're not looking for my mom. I've never even heard of those names, so I have no idea who they're asking for. I have voted. No, I will not tell you whom, but you didn't ask anyways. The Lich King, because it's me. So, I mean, that's a gimme. You want me to vote for myself? Of course I'm going to vote for myself. Where the hell is Vigilant's donation? It's not loading, Vigilant. Give me a minute. Yeah, I still got to talk about donuts. I'm going to. I should probably talk about donuts before Valerian leaves. Do you mind if I pause on questions and just give one of my prepared topics really quick? I want to explain from a food analogy, because I love using food analogies, one of the biggest reasons why I tend not to vote. Okay? Now. Does anybody out there... Perfect music for this. Does anybody out there like donuts? Bounce. I like donuts. Donuts are cool. Did you know that donuts are pretty varied? There's a lot of different types of donuts. Like a lot. Some donuts have sprinkles, some have different kinds of frosting. There's filling, there's different types of filling. There's additives like nuts or coconut. Honestly, you probably already see where this analogy is going. But hear me out, because I got a niggle here. Let's assume for a moment that in some magical future, the way voting worked is that you walked into the donut store and you picked out... No, I've never said this analogy before. This is a new one. And you actually picked out the donuts you wanted. And those are the donuts that you have decided that you support, that you care about, that fit your at least moderately precise mentality. You don't like coconut, and you don't like nuts, but you do like custard, and you do like maple. So you get maple custard-filled donut. And now the music swells up because everything's awesome, because now you have your donut that you want, right? Well, that's not actually how the system works. Now, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, of course, you're not going to find the exact person that you actually, want to vote for, because you may or may not actually... Those people may not exist in the particular election you're in. And that's totally valid. After all, you might have a candidate, excuse me, a donut, that is maple and custard-filled, but has walnuts. Do you then vote for them? I mean, they've got 2 of the 3 things you care about. They may or may not have even more or less than that. Oh my god, am I still in DPS stance? Have I been in DPS stance this whole time? God dang it. Why am I so stupid? I wonder I was having issues earlier. Anyways. So you compromise, right? You pick the donut that is the closest to the ideology that you adhere to. So far, all of this probably makes sense. Now I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine that you go to the local pastry. And you're like, man, I can't wait to get me some donuts. I'm really looking forward to this. I may have to compromise, but, I'll get some good stuff, and there'll be some things that really line up with what I want. What does it say? I think I already have these, and I do. Delete. Well, let's say that when you go to the donut store, what happens is, instead of you just picking out your donuts that you want and compromising, what happens is there's 2 people outside. Now, they have gone through the donut store, and they have picked out... donuts for you. They have decided these are the donuts you can pick from. So you don't actually go to the donut store to pick. You go and you pick from the donuts they have picked. And the one dude there, well, he's really heavy on nuts. So he's decided to get all the nut ones. Whatever else the nuts are. He's just nut, right? There's peanuts, there's peanut butter, all sorts of stuff like that. About frickin' time. Then, no, Cashel. Then, the other person, they're like, well, you know, they're really into filling. Yeah, you probably see where I'm going now, at this point. You probably see the overall point of this. Because now, what I have is two people who have picked for me and are now demanding that I pick from that list. Now, this is actually related to a topic I said I'd bring up earlier. Because this is part of the part. Hey, it's me. Check it out. Woo. I look cooler than that. I'm trying to explain one of the reasons why I'm de-invested in voting. Because I look at that situation and I say, well, what's the freaking point? No, we're not there yet, Hazardous, because you're wrong. What's the freaking point? I'm being forced to pick from a limited list of people that someone else picked for me, regardless of anything I may think or feel. So at that point, it's literally a compromise on top of a compromise. You can understand now why that makes me personally feel like I'm not really represented, is actually the word I want to use. I don't feel like I'm actually involved in the diplomatic or democratic process because I feel like my voice doesn't actually matter. Their voices do. Now, I told Hazardous he's flat out wrong. This is one of the reasons why I'm against a two-party system. It's because in a moment here, we're going to start dancing. Kind of dancing right now. We can change the dance up. You can do all sorts of dances here. Check it out. You can do this one. Because no matter what I do, only the people who already have the power and money have decided the individuals that I am allowed to vote on. Now, is it possible that I'll find people who I actually genuinely agree with in that? Absolutely. But what that boils down to is a situation where the individual donut stops mattering. Instead, all that matters is which person is handing me the donut. At a certain point, I'm not voting for this exact specific donut. I'm voting for the guy who's holding the donut, the party. Let's go with content and story. Better do more. Now, to be clear, here's the dance. Yeah. And then I just start dancing. Oh yeah, some of them are really funny. Now, let's go ahead and get into the second dance. Oh yeah! So my point is, and I hope I'm at least explaining this even properly, partially properly, is because I feel like... Let me get rid of the HUD there. There you go. There you go. Oh yeah. Yeah. I feel... It actually makes me feel a bit better because I know I'm not the only person with this problem. I feel like the only thing that matters is voting for the party. That because of the nature of how partisan politics functions in practical application, that I'm not voting for an individual. I'm voting for a party. Now, I suppose I've already kind of ousted myself on this one, but I don't really belong to or indeed believe. Loud noise warning in just a second. 1, 2, there it is. Sorry, try to get it as quickly as I could. I warned you. I told you it was coming. Sunwell. How do I get to Sunwell? Let's do that. I know this sounds so strange to say, but at that point you might as well just vote on party lines. Because the individuals who are nominated and who are up for election are people who are there because they have party support. And even the people who get in are only really going to be able to do things in practical application that the party is okay with. Like, they're kind of locked in, you know what I mean? We effectively are voting for the party, not the people. Now, that puts a bad taste in my mouth, if I'm being completely honest. But at the same time, I really, really, really thought about this for a long time. Like, I did a really in-depth dive into this topic, because it's something that actually matters to me, and because I've been doing the everything I've been saying this year. So, what's the solution? Well, there kind of isn't a solution. Because you can't just... Why am I lagging? No, Mr. Red. There we go. Hello? Why can I not sell this? There we go. Jesus, what is this lag? Are there a lot of new blood elves or something? Whew. Anyways. Because you can't get rid of parties. Even if, I said this earlier, even if you make parties illegal, parties are still going to happen. As just a concept. Voting blocks are a thing that will happen. People will group up even if they don't actually call it the blank party. Yes, I can. See, I'm selling right now, see? It's just I have to do it a little slowly. Oh, I know. I hope they go back and update the textures on this sometime. Boop. Now, you say we could have more than 2 parties. Yeah. I actually like that idea, because at that point we have more possibilities for nuance when it comes to party politics. And you see now, maybe you finally understand why I am so against 2-party systems. And why it bothers me so much that we're kind of locked into one here in the States. Is because 2 parties is, in my opinion, just not enough. There is simply not a sufficient amount of variance in the tremendous nuance that is political reality to be defined by 2 things. It's not a binary thing, right? I mean, that is one of the issues, Valerian. That you're absolutely right. Like I said, mathematically, this is why I made that statement earlier, mathematically, it is more likely than not that any given system will break down over time, where we have this kind of voting system, will break down over time to just 2 parties. That's just the nature of the math involved. Now, thankfully, that is not a universal thing. There are exceptions, and there are things that are outliers to that, and that's awesome. This is the norm, not the specific. But yeah, we have plurality rule, which I'm really, really, really against. Like, 2-party system bothers me. Plurality rule aggravates the crap out of me. You know, I was thinking about it. It's so easy to understand plurality rule. All you have to do is watch Pirates of the Caribbean 3. Remember when all the pirate captains are all around there? That's a plurality system. Because all someone needs is the majority of votes. See you around, Valerian. Have a good one, dude. And if you remember, what happened was every single person voted for themselves except for Jack, who voted for one other person. So that means the entire group was run by someone who won with 2 votes. Now, even in that case, that was like a 20% thing. But still, plurality means you have the largest percent, Mike Romano. That's what it means. If there's 100 people in the race, and one of them gets 2%, that person wins. And that system is bullcrap. Yeah, there's simple majority, qualified majority. I forget what they call it, but it's like a large majority, which is 2/3. And then there's a third thing. I actually forget what all the terms are. Please forgive me. It hasn't loaded yet, Vigilant. Yeah, hang on. I have an idea. Let me close the window entirely. Give me a sec. Let me just do this. Supermajority, that's what they call that. Hang on. God, what is going on with my internet right now? Hang on. Okay, load. It's loading! Okay, thank you very, very much, Vigilant. Again, I'll put that to Civ 2. I actually did a moment of silence earlier for that. I am unfortunately aware. No, it's not the storm. At least I don't think it is. By the way, best mount in the game. Can't change my mind. Other countries we can vote for a second choice, third choice. Yes! I keep referencing the Scottish system, which is what we've been using on the show. I might be using my terminology incorrectly, and that's my fault, and I apologize. But preferential voting. So the way that works is... Okay, I want to vote for Luneruth first. She's awesome. But let's say Luneruth only gets 20% of the votes, which means she's out. Okay. Well, that's okay, because my second pick was Shishki. But Shishki only had 5% of the vote, so he's out. Okay, well, my vote now goes to my third pick, which was for Bitter Dudemore. And Bitter Dudemore, well, he's got 40% of the votes, so he might stay in, and you get the idea. Preferential voting is an awesome voting system, in my opinion, especially since, and this is actually really important, it's really simple to do from the voter's perspective, which is, in my opinion, important. The voter needs to spend as little time as possible being confused by a complicated system. That's no good. I don't know what it's called, and honestly, at this point, I don't care. It's either called STV, preferential voting, or ranked choice. I've heard all three to discuss the thing in specific, and I don't know which one it is, so we're just going to stick with that. Okay, moving on. This is not first past the post. This is basically the opposite of first past the post, which can go to hell. Now, what was I saying? I don't remember where we got on this topic. Oh yeah, right. So this would help with the whole donut problem. Sorry, it's getting way off topic here. This would help with the donut problem. Now that won't help with the presidential because, well, there's only one winner when it comes to the president, right? Now, I still think it should be a thing because something other than a first past the post system would allow for third parties to at least have a chance without ruining things. It would have a preferential vote / ranked choice / STV vote would basically remove the spoiler effect from the equation. But it's especially true when it comes to any other kind of elections where there's multiple seats to be had, like, you know, Congress or local stuff. Well, I don't know what AMS is off the top of my head. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and I give up on whatever you want to call it. Use whatever terminology you want. You know what I'm describing. Why is decursive on for this character? That should not be. What do I want to say about the primaries? Nothing. I have nothing to add to that. It's just you were what you were describing was something that had no real particular relation to what I was describing. What I was pointing out was the fact that no matter what, no matter how things line up, the donuts that are in those boxes are determined solely by the political parties. It doesn't matter who's picked for what primaries and what and where and how. Because the only way anyone ever has a chance, other than the outliers, of actually being in that donut box at all is if they happen to be someone who is already supported by a major party. AKA, you know, no choice. Sure, we'll loot these. Why not? That's probably a little bit of gold, right? That's a little bit of gold. We'll go for it. We'll go for it. See you around, Ganas. Have a good one. I'm probably still explaining myself poorly, Hazardous, so let me try this again. The only people I am allowed to vote on are the people who have already been selected by the rich and powerful. I do not trust the rich and powerful. I have studied economics, governments, and history. Have I ever played the WoW tabletop game? No, but I did invent one of my own. Seriously, I came up... One of the rule sets I've developed was a WoW rule set. I'm actually very pleased with it, and it was really fun and awesome, but obviously I never ran any campaigns in it, just a few test runs. Am I a proponent of determinism? Please define determinism for my stupid self. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. By the way, one of the cooler looking bosses in the entire game right there. Brutalis. I'm sorry, I missed the question. Gum. Hang on, scroll up. My thoughts on the National Assembly. I don't remember which of the various things that happened in the French Revolution that was off the top of my head. I'm sorry. That is a thing that happens, boss baby. I'm not going to name specific examples, but let's just say a friend of mine lives in a state where the person he voted for switched parties to get votes. Have I posted or published any of my game systems? No. And honestly, I probably never will. Just like I'll probably never post anything of mine, like in any real fashion. Determines the dark in all events, including human action, ultimately determined by causes regarding as external to the will. Then no. I'm a big proponent of and believer in freedom of will. So nope. Is that legal? It is super legal. They will have to spend a little bit of time and money convincing that the voters that no, really, I'm with the Apple team instead of the banana team now. But it's totally legit. It is also worth noting, I tend to... Oh, right, I always forget about this. It is also probably worth noting that I will make it legal. It is also probably worth noting that these are the norms. There are exceptions to basically everything I'm talking about. I actually know, we talked about this before, but to make a specific example, this is not a statement of anything about the Republican Party or Trump. Boilerplate. But I do actually know a specific Republican, a stalwart Republican, who has been a Republican for his entire career, who is anti-Trump. Now, you're probably thinking, well, okay, why is that significant? Because it's actually kind of unusual. Generally speaking, if you're in the party, you're in the party, and you vote on party lines, and you have party loyalty. That's kind of the point of a political party. Have I done allied race unlocks? Sadly, yes. I did them before the reps were gone. Almost all the quests are awesome. I kind of wish that I had recorded all of that. I hope I'm going to be able to record some of it, because otherwise it's just going to be absent from any future streams, so that sucks. Well, Trump might not be the perfect example, but again, there's other examples of that. It's not that... it's not that common, but it is a thing that happens. That's what I was trying to say. PACs and super PACs. Pass. Ignorance is the reason. How is Wakanda and Code of Honor different? Wow. I'm going to pass on that one, if that's okay with you. Calicos, would you mind? Come on, buddy. Do I believe Trump has any positive character traits? Pass. Team. I'm not going to admit to any feelings whatsoever about any teams. No, thank you. Yeah, Black Panther's a good movie. Code of Honor is a terrible episode. There you go. Would I make voting compulsory while leaving everything else unchanged in the U.S.? No! God, that's horrible! Also, I have a personal policy that I'm not willing to do anything to other people that I'm not willing to also have done to myself. And I'm not really big on the voting system that we have here in the States. Especially when I looked into it. Like, I wasn't big on voting before I looked into it. Then I looked into it. Should not voting be a vote in itself? Not voting is a vote in and of itself. It doesn't count in the count, but not voting is a statement. It is just like not taking action in a particular endeavor. You are making an action, even if you're not taking an action. Yes or no on the Electoral College? So we actually talked about the Electoral College in depth earlier. In fact, I went fully into that one, because I actually studied that one. However, you want the quick and dirty answer, so no, the Electoral College is stupid. Would I ever consider running for office? You missed it earlier, Grammarin. I was going to this year. I was actually going to. Not idly considering. Not, you know, it'd be nice, but I put real thought and effort and time and research into it. And I decided not to, and the reasons by which I decided not to mean I'm probably never going to. I would have to... I'll tell you them real quick. Hang on, I summarized them. I got my notes right here. Reason number one. I would have to flag for a party or get lucky. Right? And statistically speaking, if I'm going to dump the amount of time and effort and money into trying to get myself run, then I probably would want to increase my chances of succeeding, which would mean I'd probably have to declare for a party. Not cool. Second problem. I would not be a party player. I would not vote on party lines, and that means not only would I either destroy my career, but I might also just be completely ignored to the point of being worthless. Or both. Also, and this is also important, because it would be a representative. Speaking of which, I'll go ahead and be honest with that. House representative would be the easiest to run for, and I could work my way up to Senate. But the idea is I would be part of the legislative branch, excuse me. Now, anybody who knows anything about the legislative branch knows that being on the committees is where the real power is there, and power is what I would be interested in. No, not for the reasons you're thinking, because the whole point of running is to try and fix this goddamn stupid... is to fix things. And, so, probably not happening. The Senate as an aggregate... Oh, geez, that's actually a pretty complex question. Let me put it in an easier way. Let me answer an easier part of that question. A senator is more powerful than a representative, but that's also not always true. Again, committees. Already has, Lord Harriman. Already looked into it. I think America has a chance to fix things. Of course I do. Someone name a raid, by the way. We're almost done with Sunwell. God, his hurt box, or excuse me, his hitbox is really weird. Let me show you how to properly demon, son. I was gonna laugh if it dropped. Oh, I guess it can't anymore. Tomb? Holdor. No, Black Temple was first. Black Temple. I'll do Black Temple. I don't want to do Tomb. I guess I could do Tomb. Tomb's not that bad. Hey, Muddy. Yeah, the majority leader of the Senate has a lot of power. Let's see if it's going to update here. We had issues with Vigilant earlier. House of Cards. I have not. I'm sorry. I can't speak to it. I would say the Speaker of the... Hazardous gets it first. In my opinion, the single most powerful political individual that is an elected official in the United States is probably the Speaker of the House. Probably followed by... Probably followed by the Majority Leader. Because the Majority Leader isn't just someone who has power in Congress. They're effectively a party leader, which means they have a defining vote in determining the entire party's sway. And the party, we've already talked about this, people are going to vote on party lines, right? And if you have a significant vote in what the party line is... Thank you, Muddy. Always appreciation. Hang on, Colin Peluso. I haven't forgotten your question. Short answer, yes. But you want more than that, so give me a second. Yeah, you probably heard me use these words before. Safe, sane, consensual. I keep using those words because those words are good words. You have to have all three. It's not 2 of 3, it's not 1 of 3. Safe, sane, consensual. The end. If it's all that... have I played Dragon Quest III? Yes. It's up there with Chrono Trigger and FF6. Watching now. Hope you're doing well. Which version of Dragon Quest am I going to be playing? We'll be playing the original NES versions when we go ahead and stream them. So. I hope that answers you. And do you happen to know where you want to put that? Yes, Muddy? I know, the music in BFA is so good. It's some of my favorite music in all of Warcraft. No joke. Someone asked when I fell in love with the Warcraft setting. Warcraft 2 is the answer to your question. The Warcraft 2 manual. Just... I don't know why or how, but it just Tetrised with me. It just clicked with me in ways I can't even possibly describe. And I was just... And I would reread the Warcraft 2 manual just to get the lore tidbits. It just... Loved it. And I've been in love with this setting ever since. Have I ever speedrun the original Metroid? I've tried. I failed. I suck at it. Yeah, you remember the original StarCraft manual? That had so much in it. What am I doing? Black Temple. Black Temple. Orgrimmar. Orgrimmar. What do you think of the Chronicle retcon that it's from the POV? That's stupid and dumb and terrible and awful and stupid and dumb and terrible and awful. Do I think term limits are needed? We actually brought that up earlier. A few people had some really good thoughts on that, and I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, right, they moved the portals around, didn't they? Because these are, like, new portals. Yeah, I need to go down for the Shadowruth now. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Prettiest raid? Oh, jeez. I'm tempted to pick Citadel. I love Citadel so much. Citadel, Throne, Siege. I love Siege. Blackrock Foundry. And Nighthold. I think those 5 are kind of in the running for prettiest raids for me. Lifetime appointments? Okay. I am... Wait, what, Magister? I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about? What? That's because it is Be Muddy. So, I am 100% in favor of the idea behind the no-term thing for the Supreme Justice, the Supreme Courts. I am. Because I'm... Okay, so for those of you not aware, the idea... Gotta keep emphasizing that. Behind no term limits, behind life, you know, having the supreme job for life, is because the point is to try and remove politics from the equation. All right, you're set. You're a judge. You're a Supreme Court judge for the rest of your life. Oh, gotcha, Magister. It's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind playing. That's the idea. Yeah, of course it doesn't work, but that's why I keep emphasizing the word the idea. But I do like that idea. The whole point is, okay, you are no longer part of a particular political party. Your career is set in stone. You're not, there's no further up. You're done. Now here's the catch. Did you know Supreme Justices can be removed? They're not really supposed to be able to be, but they are capable of being. It's oh god, it's so complicated, guys. I did a brief look into the Supreme Court because of, you know, what happened a few weeks ago. And holy crap, there are so many asterisks upon asterisks upon asterisks. They're elected by the president, except it has to be approved by the Senate, except it could or could not be approved by the Senate, depending on if the Senate's in session. Except if it's appointed at a certain time when the Senate is not in session, it can be elected at a specific time as a de facto Supreme Court justice who is still making actual actions, despite the fact that they have that asterisk next to their name. Then they could be appointed or de-appointed later when the court is in, when Senate is session. And just... There's just... Oh my god, guys! It's insanity. Yeah, recess appointments. Oh my god. Yeah, when I was looking it up, when I was researching it, CGP Gray, oh my god, I can't say his name. CGP Gray came up in that, and I watched his video, and he summarized a lot of it. Not all of it, but some of it. You should watch his videos, by the way. He's totally cool. But... yeah, it's just, there's so many asterisks upon asterisks upon asterisks that determine the Supreme Court. Which is a shame, because in theory, again, I love the idea of you're not part of the political spectrum anymore. You're separate from that, and your job is to be the final call on things. Right? I do legitimately believe that at the end of the day, you need someone to do, this is what this is. Because otherwise, all you have is lawmakers and law executors who argue back and forth endlessly. There does need to be, my opinion, there does need to be a, this is what this is at the end of the day. Now, several people, sorry, I'm not ignoring you, several people have mentioned the idea, should Supreme Court justices just be publicly elected?
Your dedication will be rewarded.
I don't know. Because there's two problems with that. There's actually like 90 problems with that, but hear me out for a second. There's three big problems with that. Problem one, do you support majority rule or do you support compromise? Are you more democracy or are you more republic? We actually had that whole discussion earlier, right? The Star Wars analogy I made. You know, do you trust the person to the right of you and the person to the left of you to determine your life? See you around, Unix. So that's the first question. Again, I don't have an opinion on that one. I can't judge on that one. So that's a wash. Problem number two. Judges, if we're doing the lifetime thing, then we need to decide how and when we do elections for a judge dying or retiring or being impeached or being removed by Senate or whatever else, right? What I mean by that is, right now, it's hard enough to get people to vote when it's on a schedule. I want you to imagine that people are like, hey, guys, we need a new Supreme Court justice, so let's vote, let's go. To the nation. Practicality is a problem there, you know what I mean? Problem three, yeah, who's going to vote for a justice? I've said this before and I've said this again, and forgive me for hammering this point on. I know it sounds like I'm spamming, I apologize. It irritates me how much attention the presidential election gets because of how little attention everyone else gets. Sure, the executive branch is important. I'm willing to concede that point. I am. Everything else is important too. You know? So tell me, with all of the attention, with all the media, with all of the brand, how much of, what kind of polling do you think we would get on electing a Supreme Justice? I forget what problem 3 is. I've lost track. Hey, it finally went through. Muddy, thank you very, very much for that donation. Very much appreciated. However, ironically, I cannot actually put that towards Pokemon Black and White because it's funded. It actually got funded about an hour ago. I have updated the website. It is updated. However, you did ask a question, which is, do I stream and ruminate for a living? The answer is yes. I mean, I'm not sure how else I would manage to stream for 60 plus hours a week. But yes, this is what this problem boils down to. I really do like the idea of an impartial judicial body who has the final say. There's every problem with that. It's basically the dictator problem, right? It is the dictator problem. But the real problem there isn't the dictator problem, it's how do you get those people into office? I don't have a good answer there. Believe it or not, that kind of topic is actually something that was on my mind when I was designing the extant, because after all, deciding who decides whom gets what position is part of how governance is. You know? And for the record, I probably shouldn't have to say this, I am in favor of the very concept of representative government. Of course I freaking am. One of my biggest complaints with the United States is I don't feel like I am represented. Regardless of whether or not I vote. Oh, right, I have to actually say yes. Yes, I'm ready. Let's go, Akama. It has been a long and hard road, Muddy, but yes, I have never regretted switching to this full-time. What's funny is it only happened because of desperation. I couldn't get a job because of the kidney stone surgery thing, so I was basically physically incapable of working a 9-to-5. So in desperation, I decided to focus on YouTubing and streaming, and here I am. That was about 7 years ago now, something like that. Let me check. Hang on, Lord Haremont, let me check. Thoughts on the 8-hour workday? Well, I've actually already answered that one. If we as a society need to have 40-hour work weeks, we've done something wrong. That should probably answer your question. Just after that, Muddy. Or rather, just before that, excuse me. But yes, is the answer to your question. When this started becoming my job instead of just something I was doing for fun, you know, branding and all that fun stuff kind of became relevant. What does the website say? Because it looks fine to me on my end, Lord Haremont. 711 out of 1,250. That's correct. Would an absolute monarchy work better for America? Let me talk about the problems with dictatorships. 237? Hang on. Yep, $237. That is correct. That's what I got down. What's the issue? So let's talk about the problems with a dictatorship. Problem number 1. Evil people! Pretty obvious, right? But if one person has the power, and they're evil, then that sucks. Pretty obvious. There's actually another problem, though, and it's arguably a bigger problem. I want to ask you guys a legitimate question. You can feel free not to answer. If you could vote for me to be the dictator of this country, would you? Autocrat is a better word, but, you know. I'm seeing a lot of no's. Wow, that's a little surprising. Huh. Why no, if you don't mind my asking? I'll have to restructure my question then, but that's okay. Why no? You got it, Muddy. That I can do. Well, anyways, let's assume for a moment that you vote yes. Yay, okay, I'm in. Woo! Alright, so I'm in charge. Let us also presume for a moment that I am a good person. I know. Hard to believe. Now, having said that, I mean, that's what today's about, Loner. Having said that, let's assume that I run a good government that works well and everything's awesome. With me so far? You already see where we're going with this. Because the problem is, what happens when I die? What happens when I am removed from power? Whatever happens. And now you see the problem. I've studied a whole lot of... Well, I'm not getting drunk. No offense, Loner. I've studied history a lot. And succession is at the root... I would say succession is the #2 biggest cause of issues in all of history. Yeah, Charlemagne is a perfect example. Now, you can think whatever you want about Charlemagne, but... I mean, I think he's actually a reasonably decent example of a dictator of back in the day. He's certainly better than a lot of the other examples at the time, which I know is a low bar to pass. But Charlemagne died. What happened after he died? A mess is what happened after he died. Such a mess that it has arguably had issues into the Second World War. I have heard several people make that argument, including me, by the way. So yeah, succession. That's the flaw of a dictatorial system. The flaw. The other flaw is arguably a smaller flaw than that one. At least from a long-term, you know, non-moralistic perspective. The other flaw, by the way, because someone asked, is you have to be a decent person who is a decent leader. You have to be both. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be a good leader who can keep, you know, your cabinet or your people or whatever in check. And you have to be someone who is also a good person, so you're not you know, evil. And yeah, you also can't control everything. That's very valid. Even if you are the dictator, someone has to implement your orders. You see why there's so many issues here? That's what I'm answering you, Spinobi. France and Germany, Fiendish Dogtail. That's the summary. Did he really, Mike? I need to watch more of his videos. I only became aware of him like a couple months ago. But yeah, Alsace and Lorraine, Fiendish Dogtail. Which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. I've heard it said. Anyways, point being, there's every problem with it. You're probably thinking, well, lore, what's the point then? Ah, there you go. That's the real question. Because even, you have to understand, this is why I'm not going to run for... I saw it, Lord Harem. I don't know how to answer you. If it's wrong, and I have no way of knowing. You know what? Hang on. No, I do... Well, no, I don't. I have no way of knowing that. I have no way of checking that, Lord Haremon, if it's off. I'm sorry? Wait, no. I have an idea of how I can check that. Pause! Everyone! Hang on. Hit the stream brakes. I have an idea. We're gonna have to manually tabulate some things. Give me a second. $237. Nope, we're good. It is the correct number. We're done. Alright. That... Go watch the lore run, Alex. No one did the emote. I gave you guys a stream break emote just for this. I suppose that's valid, Cashel. Anyways, sorry. To finish my topic, this is why I'm not running for Senate. Because what's the point? I don't mean to sound defeatist, but in the most ideal of ideal circumstances, in the 1 in a million of the 1 in a million chance, I would still have to deal... Like, it's if I somehow became the dictator, the autocrat of this country, I would still have everything wrong with it. I still wouldn't be able to actually fix things. So what's the point? That's why I am not running for anything. And you're correct, Boster. That would be mandatory. And, I mean... No, this is actually BC, specifically. It should be labeled. Look for Shadow Moon Valley. I'm sorry, Spinobi, I don't understand your question. I should be looting these guys. So, Hazardous brings up an interesting point. You ever heard of strategic voting? I think I'm using the wrong phrase, so forgive me. The thing I'm thinking of is when you don't vote for what you want, you vote against what you don't want. It also is relevant to when you vote relative to what other people are thinking. In short, well, I think Bragwin's going to vote for In the Pale Moonlight, for her favorite DS9 episode. So I'm actually not going to vote for that, because there's no reason to. It's going to win anyway. It's a popular episode, right? So I'm going to vote for something else. Even though it is my pick, and it is my favorite episode of DS9, I'm going to vote for something else. Strategic voting. And of course, this also applies because in some cases, well, gee, I really don't... So if I'm given a list of things to vote for, and it's like, well, I really don't want... Move Along Home, we'll keep using Star Trek. I really don't want Move Along Home to win. That's terrible. So I don't particularly like Meridian. I dislike Meridian a lot, but even though my pick is something else, I'm going to go ahead and vote against that in order to try and prevent the thing I really don't like, which is Move Along Home, from winning. Now... Hang on, Pillars of Snow. Mm, I can't think of any of the allied races off the top of my head. What are the allied races supposed to be? Give me a list. Give me a list. This boils back to what hazardous. That's right. Hazardous was prompted me on this one. Sorry. Train of thought. Train of thought. The idea that hazardous is, oh yeah, Nightborn. Done. Yeah, I don't even have to think about that. Nightborn. Favorite allied race, bar none. The idea of running for Senate, the only reason to try at all would be to prevent someone else from being a senator. Strategic voting. It's a slightly different variant on it, but it's the same concept. Going back to the donuts thing, you know, I don't like nuts in my donuts at all. I don't. That's actually a real thing. But by golly, those black licorice donuts, screw those. Like that. Why am I not floating? Yeah, whatever. Probably Poponiques? I don't know. Which one are you talking about? Oh, you mean the Halloween one. There it is. Yes, black licorice donuts are a real thing. I've seen them. Never tasted them for obvious reasons. But yeah, I mean, yeah, valid hazardous. But I get your point. Admittedly, I didn't even talk about this. I'm getting way too real. I'm sorry. I guess this is polemic. That's what we're supposed to do. One of the other things that occurred to me is I would want to build my own voting block. It would be small and pathetic and tiny, but it would be something. The problem is, and you could probably already guess this, the nature of the first past the post system pretty much destroys any feasibility of that accomplishing anything. Because that's pretty much just spoiler effect again, in a nutshell. Because the people who would probably be inclined towards being swayed towards the voting block that I would be generating within the legislation would be the opposite of the people that I dislike. I'm saying that's so wrong. In other words, the people that I would actually be trying to remove from political power would be the people whose political power would be improved by my actions. That's spoiler effect in a nutshell, right there. What's green text? I'm sorry, Alex. Yet no. Hazardous. All of the no. It's not worth it. Favorite raid armor for each class? Oh, geez, I don't know. I'd better not, Poponiques. I mean, I already have both of them. Funny D&D stories? Oh, geez, I don't know, dude. I feel like I've shared every D&D story I've had. One time, my party was on approach to a town that was on fire. They were there to help. One of the black mages who was in the party quickly realized that magic was wrong and off, and they weren't sure why. They decided to nope right out of there. They left that town and never went back. Would you like to guess how much material and prep work I had done for that town and that story arc, which was never followed through on, by the way? Ahem. I hope you have fun, Gum Gum. Oh, here we go. Is the MCU Spider-Man a good representative of Spider-Man? In my opinion, yes. But then again, I actually like the MCU, so what the hell do I know? Someone name a raid. Preferably not a Legion one, and definitely not a BFA one. Oh, I have no idea. Gum Gum off the top of my head. Ulduar. Done. I need to do that this week anyways. That's actually one of the ones I do regularly. I mean, I've been hearing more and more and more and more and more backlash against the MCU, so... I want you to know, by the way, every time you do that, has this, you do get a little bit of a grin out of me. Here, have some dialogue. He sucks and I hate them. Fiendish dog. Quick summary.
Boldly said, but I remain unconvinced.
The time has come. The moment is at hand.
You are not prepared.
And back off. Let me show you how to Demon Hunter, buddy. I learned from the best. Wait. It's not accurate to the comics. Thank God for that. And yeah, I mean that unironically. I don't know, Gum Gum. I don't know. Yeah, Kill Jaden taught me everything I knew. Wait a second. Oh no, I'm stuck. Well, you probably didn't notice this earlier, Gum Gum, but I talked about how any organization that gets super large should probably be more cellular. So, Mobage, Alex. Easy answer. Easy answer. I don't even have to think about that. Well, basically, most of the power is on the regional governors, for lack of a better term. If I had to pick a specific body of the empire where most of the political power lies, it would be the military. Because they run and govern most of the empire. And on the higher level up here. Whereas, you know, we got like the legislation over here, and we got the executive over here, and then we got more legislation executive, and it just kind of tiers down as we go. Sorry, no glaive. To Ulduar. Do I like anime? I love anime and nothing else. I mean, they could, Gum Gum, but what will be the point of that? Why do I hate Lovecraft's works? I don't like gross, I don't like creepy, and I don't like weird. That should probably answer you? I can keep going if you want. Ulduar, right. Actually, funnily enough, I agree completely, Pyman. Although, I did a deep dive into the difference between the Senators and the Moffs at one point in time. Did you know... Here, this is funny. Did you know... Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Did you know that the Senators were appointed, not elected in most cases? It varies, but every system, every member state of the Republic was allowed to select their representative however they chose, which meant quite a few of them were appointed. Now, what's the relevance of that? How do you think Moffs get their job? Just interesting to think about. Anyways. And yeah, quite a few were absolute monarchs, that's true. Anyways, what's a great show that I likely haven't seen before? Mockingbird, oh, jeez. Have you seen Babylon 5? No, have you seen Space Above and Beyond? That's one most people haven't seen, and that people should. It's a good show. Worst raid when it comes to lore? Mount Hyjal. Don't even have to think about that. Even Molten Core was more lore relevant than Mount Hyjal. Mount Hyjal is one of my least favorite raids in the entire game, by the way. Have I seen The Mandalorian? Nope. I actually want to see The Mandalorian, but as we talked about earlier, I simply do not have time. Yeah, exactly, Pyman. Nevertheless, I do think a regional governor system, we already talked about this, I do think a regional governor system has a better chance of working than everyone is in charge, you know, a centralized government kind of a thing. Yes, also Farscape, if you haven't watched that, that's a good one. Farscape, Stargate SG-1, Babylon 5, and Space Above and Beyond are my go-to for science fiction shows if you want to, you know, get into some stuff. Well, I'm going to do Yogg 0 anyway, Shadow Machine, because I'm doing a mount run. That one... I'm trying to think what's going to be required to do all of that. I think I could do all of that. Sure, why not? That is the goal, Gum Gum. How am I enjoying My Little Pony? Quite a bit. It's a good show. The mount. It's one of the only mounts I don't have. One of the only rare mounts I don't have. No, Crazy Norse. In fact, the odds are approximately 0%. However, Stargate SG-1 will be in the running for Streaminations. What are my thoughts on objective writing analysis? Pass. I think I'm going to pass on that one. No, you're fine, Crazy Norse, but that's I'm making that point very determinatively because I'm trying to get the word out more and more and more and more and more that the ruminations are for Star Trek and movies. That's it. Now, other shows we could totally cover that on the Streaminations thing. Reason for passing. When Star Trek is done, I'm not super worried about that. Current projections are about 6 years out. Okay. I don't really think objective reviews exist there. Okay, in all sincerity, if I am still doing the Star Trek Ruminations in 6 years, then that's awesome. But I already actually do have ideas of what could be done if and when we come to the point where I have run out of Star Trek. It's actually more like a catapult, but yes, Mockingburns. It's less of a tank than the other thing. I've got more tanks, but this actually does more damage than the tanks. Anyways, so, let's just say that I'm trying more and more to pull out of YouTube and leave it at that. That's true, Bluent, and completely pointless. I mean, I know you're being facetious and you're memeing, but I have heard people who have flat out talked about going ahead and doing those kinds of objective reviews, and I honestly don't see much of a point in that. Analysis can certainly include objective facts. That's fine. I'm with that. You know, one of the things I like to do is, when it comes to video game analysis and design, is go through the list and be like, okay, how many specific quests are happening at X point with X characters? You know, that kind of objective information is something that's interesting when it comes to subjectively reviewing and analyzing the work. But you get my point. Anyways, broad question from Boster. Do I believe video games are on the downward spiral when it comes to quality? No, I absolutely do not. I think video games are actually doing great overall. Now, that is, of course, keeping in mind that the video game industry doesn't actually exist anymore. It's more like the video game industries at this point, which is kind of the point. The sheer number of excellent quality games that can and do come out on a regular basis at all three levels of gaming kind of makes my point for me. Sorry for the delay. I'm doing the best I can. I got a lot of questions. I still haven't even hit my other topic. I got one last topic. I talked about the donut thing, finally. Yeah, AAA gaming. You know what? Do you mind if I bring up my last topic? Do you mind if I do that? Is that cool? It means we'll have to pause questions for a minute. Okay, last topic. AAA gaming. That's where it's relevant. So, yeah, AAA gaming. I had a thought about that. And I've decided that AAA gaming should probably not exist. Now, do me a favor and hear me out. Well, I've been running through topics all day, Henson. I had a few prepared. It's just I'm down to only one. I'm down to only one, right? Did I forget anything? Hang on. Political parties, donuts, and AAA. Yep, nope, this is the last one. I don't remember, Mike Romano. Somebody told me. I don't remember anymore. This is going to sound like a really strange statement. It makes sense that AAA gaming has been so money gougy, even ignoring greed. And I think solving that is more about solving the underlying economic problems rather than solving AAA gaming itself. I've already given my thoughts on how and why I would do that exactly. AAA is large-scale major titles. Any of the big boys. That's what AAA means. Yeah, you get it, Hazardous. See, here's the thing. If you are a AAA studio, you have your developers, and you have your managers, and then you have everyone else. And that's the really strange thing, and I was thinking about this. Well, obviously I'm not okay with a lot of what they do, and I would like to make it very, very clear. The fact of the matter is they have a huge amount of what I would probably call overhead, for lack of better terminology. I hate you for making me do this the slow way, Shadow Machine. Ugh, there we go. Get out of my way. As in, they have to... Yeah, there's so many people that work there. And, I mean, it's a basic economic principle. All of those people are all getting paid out of the paycheck that comes from the sales of those games, which then helps to partially explain why it is that they try to be as money-grubbing as they possibly can be. Because the cost of simply existing as a AAA developer is way too high. Now, I've already given some ideas on how we could fix this by fixing the underlying economic problem. That guy's a trooper, by the way. That guy right there, that's Gum Gum, right there. That person's Gum Gum. Keep on trucking, Gum Gum. Alright, so... But my point is, presume for a second... Hang on, Crazy Norse, hang on. Presume for a moment that, you know, there's AAA... It doesn't matter. Pick a studio. We'll call it Mr. Redia, okay? Mr. Redia, they make games, and they're a AAA studio. Now, simply for existing, Mr. Redia does have to keep the bills paid, and does have to keep the lights on, and does have to keep people functioning and working, even if he's not currently making money. What this means, from a base economic idea, is that he needs to make enough money to cover the gap in between sales. Now, it's worth noting that there will obviously always be sales, so it's not like that's a permanent thing. Hang on. This is for you, Shadow Machine. I think it was Shadow Machine. Whoever asked me to do all the hard modes. There we go. There we go. He needs to keep the lights on, so he needs to plan things out and map things out financially to keep money coming in. Now, there are two other niggles to this. That's the main point I wanted to make, is that it's weirdly logical why it is that, you know, they would go ahead and charge more money and grift more money when it comes to their policies. Here's the catch, and there are two catches to that. Catch number one, I think that some studios could manage that regardless, as long as they readjusted what money went where with regards to the studio pricing. You probably already know what I'm talking about on that one, but the simple fact that the overwhelming percentage of that money goes to people who don't need it, and frankly, probably don't even want it, is a huge amount of the problem. I do not know and cannot get data on exactly how feasible it would be if they just stopped grifting customers right now and figure out exactly how AAA studios can and do function with the reduced income. I don't know. 1 second. So I gotta do this properly. There we go. Okay. I didn't want to die. Well, we'll get there, Disco. Oh my god, I don't... Fine. Whatever. Fine. Whatever. That's dumb and stupid, Gum Gum. We've already talked about that. A company that has to go out of its way to leave cash on the to try and grab cash on the table is probably a company that is, and I'm going to say this as bluntly as I can, evil. Do I like the old school way of doing raid to hard mode, or I prefer it to be a toggle? I prefer the old school method, but it's worth noting that I also understand this is a lot harder and more time-consuming to design, so... Ideally, we'd probably have both. Like, there would be there'd be one raid that has the old method, and then there'd be one raid that just has a toggle, you know? I know, it's money I could be getting, but I'm not! Honestly, Gum Gum, all I have to say to that is Outer Worlds. They've made my point for me. I don't really need to make my point anymore. Priority list. If making money is at the top of your priority list, you got a problem. Thoughts on how EA has resisted monetizing both recent Star Wars games? Brownie points. I'm serious. Now, that does make EA one of the better publishers, but I've been saying that for years. Watch the Outer Worlds VOD, Spinobi. I can't even possibly summarize. I can't. It's everything. Do I think Square Enix is the greediest company out there? No. Not even a little. I don't think any gaming company is even in the list for the top 50 of greediest companies out there. I would still say Tencent is not particularly greedy, since their goal is not greed. They're going after something else, which is arguably worse. Ugh. Pass, Spinobi. Don't feel like looking it up. Look up 5 holding companies and pick 5 randomly. There you go. There's your answer. Loud noise that thankfully is muted. Opinion on the fall of Constantinople? I haven't studied that part of history all that much, so I don't have so much to say about it. Well, I just got the cover of the Keepers, but not much. I usually don't do these on my Demon Hunter, so I'm getting some leather gear in here. You think Square Enix betrayed the fans with FF7R1, P-Muddy? Because I don't. That is, of course, just my opinion. I know I'm actually on the minority on that one. What? Oh, god dang it. Die. Don't respawn. Nuclear power pants. They're the comfiest power pants ever. I have no idea what nuclear... Oh, plants. Don't have enough information. Listen, all I'm saying is we should just stick with one name and never rename it ever, ever, ever. I have no idea. See, the problem is, I would use an example of how FF7R1 is kind of tricking, but not really. But every example I could think up with is pretty spoilery, so I'm just going to skip doing that. Oh yeah, by the way, what I'm doing is actually faster than just running, if you're wondering one of the reasons I'm doing it. Also, jumping is just kind of a thing you do in MMOs. Anybody who plays MMOs knows this. It's the MMO code. Oh, let me loot. Let me loot. But yeah, if you can actually watch my speed increase. It's every time the wings come out, my forward momentum increases very slightly. Oh yeah, someone asked about making drugs legal. No, be muddy. In fact, I'm pretty curious if it'll be even close to as good as the first game. We will see. So... legalizing drugs. And you know what we mean with drugs. You mean Spinobi. Like, Spinobi is drugs. Like, you walk up to Spinobi and it's like, what's up, dude? Oh, yeah, that's the stuff. And that's just kind of what talking to Spinobi is like. It's kind of weird, but, you know, you get used to it after a while. Thank you very much, Spinobi. Always appreciate. Thank you. The sky? So, okay. What was the question? God, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, recreational drugs and legality thereof. I have never seen a practical emphasis plan for removing recreational drugs from the from reality, just erasing them from the system. And until I see that plan, we might as well legalize them and keep them under a controlled and normalized format that doesn't involve, you know, horribleness and death and, you know, bags of plastic in your intestinal tract. I actually can't do Algalon in this character, Ventures. She doesn't have it unlocked. Actually, voting requires money, too. Sorry, Torchinator. Voting and nominating both require money. And yeah, that's the other thing. The other day I went to buy this. This is Dayquil. I had to prove that I was legally old enough to buy Dayquil. Because people are doing something with it to get high. That's inevitable. People are going to do that. I don't think there's anything you can really do about that. The most you could do is penalize the crap out of people who do that and then do things they shouldn't be doing while they're doing that. If you get high on the job, well, that's a problem. If you get high while driving, that's probably a problem. And so forth and so on. I have no idea, Mike Romano. That's actually news to me. So I don't know. But people are going to get high no matter what. That's just... it's whatever. Oh, I forgot to do hard... Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, Shadow Machine. I completely spaced. I apologize. I can fix it. I can fix it. Hang on. I usually don't do the hard mode, so... Have I ever been under the influence? To my knowledge, no. No, it doesn't, Pyro. I don't remember when they got rid of that, but they did. But anyways, no. I have not been high to my knowledge. Now, the only addendum to that is at one point I was in recovery from surgery. And that's probably the closest to high I've ever been. It was really, really, really unpleasant. I hated it. And that's kind of the thing for me. I don't like being out of control of myself in any particular manner. So, I have no motivation to get high by any metric. So he can do some sweet licks, Actaft, obviously. The story, S.A. Ross. Chrono Trigger doesn't have much on the story axis, not really. I have no idea, Loner. But I will never forget the fact that I don't remember much of being in the recovery room. My mother has never let me forget about the specifics. Avatar: The Last Airbender is the worst show ever made in the history of ever. But yeah, I am also violently allergic to marijuana. And I can't really smoke. And I don't like the taste of alcohol. And I don't like being out of control of myself. Should dueling between two consenting parties be legal? No. And the reason why is complicated, but it boils down to how you define consenting and how you address that, because that is just a massively abusable system is what that is. That is an easy method of legalized assassination. Funnily enough, that's also how it was used historically quite a bit, but let's not get into that. No, Alex. And I don't care. I don't like anything that's fun. I've told you guys, I'm boring. I am super boring. Yes, and it will make a lot of time pass where nothing really is accomplished. It'll waste a lot of time and money. In other words, Disco Inferno. Ever watch Adult Swim? Yes. Didn't like it that much, though. Yeah, I'm out of a prepared talk. Let me double check here. We talked about the debt limit. We talked about spoiler effect and voting methods. And the multiple vote system. We talked about faithless electors in the Electoral College. A lot of notes about the Electoral College. We talked about the importance of the executive branch and the legislative branch. We talked about should people be allowed to vote, majority rule versus representative rule. Talked about how I was going to run for Senate. Talked about 888 development. Talked about donuts and political parties. That's it. That's all I had. I got nothing else. So if you guys have run out of questions, like actual questions, because I'm seeing some meme questions, so we're going to start ignoring meme questions. Does anybody have any real questions? Because if you don't, I'm going to chop off the stream. No, I do not. Sean Escobar. I don't think that that's really going to help that particular problem, but I do think we should go into space in general to grab resources for, you know, usefulness. Meme. Meme. Do I have any objection to eating human flesh? Yeah, it's pretty gross. There's also health reasons to not do it, but yeah, it's pretty gross. Yes, daylight savings time here in the States is tonight. So tomorrow will be delayed or early or whatever it is. I forget and I don't care. But it'll be 10 a.m. EST as usual. Hey, Rex. What do I hate most about the way people have acted around the pandemic? I've already answered that. I really do not like the fact that it became a partisan issue. That's stupid. Do I have an opinion on synthetic meat grown in a lab? Not yet. I don't have enough information, and frankly, I don't think we have enough information to really judge that from a long-term perspective. We will know what we think of meat generated in a lab in about 30 years. Thoughts on the criminal justice system? Early part of the stream. Go watch the first VOD. Why don't books work for ruminations? Okay, so the first and most obvious problem is I have nothing to say about a book. So, problem number one. Problem number two... See, I ask you guys for real questions, and then you flood me. That's okay, it's okay, it's better than the alternative. Problem number one is that I have nothing to say about books. Problem number two is books, by their very nature, are not things that I can or do ruminate on, based on the very nature of how I approach it. Because a book... I didn't even see your question, Gum Gum. A book is something that, by its very design, I can't do things like analyze or ruminate on, because so much of it is, by design, interpretive. It's like, I mean, I could tell you, hey, so here's how I think this character sounds, and here's how I think this character acts, and here's what I think is going on at this point. But even that's actually invalid, because of the fact that most books, not all, of course, will bother to go into the heads of the characters, where they will flat out state what they are thinking and what they are feeling. The whole thing just doesn't work. So we just put the kibosh on that. Hello, Groxix. Happy Halloween. Who is a content creator who doesn't post anymore that I miss the most? Bob and George. Actually, no. Disgruntled Ferret. What do I think about Shadowlands being released on Thanksgiving? I mean, that makes sense to me. Does watching people have mask burning parties make you lose faith in humanity? Dude, if I haven't lost faith in humanity by now, that is nothing. Could Thetis before Dragon Age Origins defeat Tamriel before Oblivion in a full-scale war? Yeah. Do you agree with the criticisms against J.J. Rowling? Pass. Sorry, I don't want to cover that, if that's okay. I am completely ignorant on what's been going on there specifically, and frankly, I'd kind of like to stay that way, if that's okay. So, ignorance is the reason for the pass. Top 5 FF games. Hang on. Let me go to lorerunner.com. Hit the review button. Do you not have a website? Okay, so it looks like, in order, 6... Scroll down. 7, 9... 5... Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down... 12. There you go. I don't know, Wilking. I kind of hope there's some difference, but we'll see. Yeah, I know I have a website. We're just gonna... Best editions of Dungeons & Dragons. 5th. God damn it, stupid illusion. I already have all the illusions in here. How much... Am I planning to do the new Star Trek series after TOS and Enterprise? Actually, I'm doing TAS after TOS. However, yes, the answer is we will start Discovery after TAS and Enterprise. Why is 5th the best? Because I think 5th hits... Okay. I think D&D should... Any PNP should not be too rules-heavy. That's my opinion, and that's my perspective. My prerogative, if you will. If I wanted something super rules-heavy, I'd go with Pathfinder. I prefer to do things a little bit more loosely and on the fly. You may or may not have noticed the fact that my own adapted system literally doesn't have skills at all. Just to name an example of what I'm talking about. I'm more in favor of role-playing than I am on role-playing. R-O-L-E. R-O-L-E as opposed to R-O-L-L. That means... No, I'm just trying to keep up, buddy. Although my throat does hurt, so that might be what you're hearing. But yeah, I am more in favor of role-playing than role-playing. Maybe Hazardous. I don't even know what it is off the top of my head, so I haven't even heard about it. I'm falling behind on questions really badly. Yeah, so I'm more in favor of not having a rules-heavy system. So 5th edition does still have plenty you can do, and lots of character customization, which I'm in favor of, as well as also not being a super complex system, which I'm in favor of. There you go, 5th edition. Am I opposed to games that are addictive but otherwise add little to culture? Yes, but I don't think there's anything we can do about it. Pathfinder. I've actually never heard that, but that's good. I like that. I mean, that's what we're here for, Retro, is to get it all out of the way in one day. Did I pass? If I didn't say pass, then I didn't pass. Should citizens be made to take a test of intelligence before being allowed to vote? How do you define a test of intelligence? You know what? I'm just going to say no. I don't think that's a workable solution. Even if the idea has some merit, I don't think that's a practical solution. So I'm going to go with no. Is Skyward Sword my most wanted Switch port? No, that would probably be Twilight Princess. Do I have no faith in humanity? No, I have faith in humanity. Trans rights are human rights. Duh! See you around, Boster. Have a good one. Yeah, We have plenty of things limiting people's ability to vote right now. I am 38, buddy. What do I think about the idea of parenting licenses? Let me address that by answering a seemingly unrelated question, but I swear it is a related topic. I'm in favor of fixing the health industry. Now you're probably thinking, what does that have to do with anything? Do you know how expensive it is to have a child? Oh no, I got Black Plague. Ah, that's the worst. Amount, specifically, Mitch Connor. Oh my god, I got both debuffs too. I even try. Oh my god. It's gonna hit me right at the last second. Oh, it didn't. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay, we made it. Amy Coney Barrett. I do not know that name. I'm sorry. Okay. Hard mode. God dang. But yeah, children are super expensive, is the thing I was getting to. And I think that is more of a problem with parenting than, you know, whether or not you should have a license. Oh, well, new Supreme Court judge. Gotcha. I don't know anything about her whatsoever. I would probably block her appointment, though. No, not because of the person who appointed it. I would block that appointment no matter who was appointing it. Can you guess why? It should be really easy to answer that. Yeah, because, well, I mean, she was appointed. We actually already talked about that. But because of the time in which she is being elected. Excuse me, appointed. This is such a no, like, this is such a bullcrap move, to be blunt. To be as blunt as I possibly can. This is a bullcrap move. Now, if you don't understand what I mean by that, I've been GMing for a long time. And as a GM, you get a feel every now and again. Someone name a raid. You get a feel for when... I already did Ice Crown Papaneeks. You get a feel for when people are just trying to BS you, right? When they're just trying to get away with something. Throne of Thunder, that's a good one. Ooh, that's one of my favorite raids. Good pick, good pick. And that's what I mean. They're just trying to BS it. They're just trying to be like, oh yeah, no, hang on, let me just, I know I'm gonna lose my job in, like, what is it, 4 months is when it's the official switch over, something like that. But even though I'm on the very end of my thing, let me appoint someone who is going to have a lifetime position, who is my personal pick. There we go, good. Tee-hee-hee. No, regardless of who was doing the appointment, no. That's my answer to that. Kathleen Kennedy gets too much of a bad rap because she has no idea how to be on camera. That's my thoughts on Kathleen Kennedy. Doesn't matter, Pyro. Doesn't matter. It is an election. Hang on. This is the chance that he is going to remain elected or not. It should be pushed back until January, one way or the other. What do you disagree with, Vigilant? What did I say? Do I have to stab Vigilant now? Oh, Kathleen Kennedy. Right. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I expected that. I don't care. She gets way too much of a bad rap. People tend to completely mistake and forget all of the excellent and amazing things she has done for cinematography for 30 years, and then just decide to slambast all over her because she has no idea how to not run her mouth on camera. I'm not trying to defend her, by the way. I just think that people tend to only focus on the now and forget all that she is and has done. She is a very competent producer and has been for longer than some of you have been alive. So forgive me, but no. What do I think happened to the Jedi Exile? I mean, obviously they died horribly. Where am I going? Throne. I have to go the slow route, don't I? Yeah, I do. Whatever. Oh, language is absolutely part of a culture. Absolutely, Zofer. I do think her ideas are rubbish. I'll agree with that. I don't agree with almost anything she said in the last, like, 5 years. But I stand by my earlier statement. Yeah, we can do heroic. We might be able to... Let's try mythic. Let's try mythic. Let's try it. Yeah, you should look at some of the movies she's worked on. She is a legitimately good producer. But of course, a producer's job is to produce movies. And she should go do her freaking job. I'm familiar with it, Hazardous. You're not going to change my mind on this one, I'm sorry. But this is the kind of reason, one of the reasons why I tend to avoid Star Wars and just label it controversial topic. Because we're going to be on different sides of this, and you're not going to change my mind, so I'm not sure what the point is of discussing this. Stormblood is your favorite expansion? That's... Oh, right, I was going to say, wrong MMO, dude. But no, you're right. Hang on. So, yes, I am 100% aware of that, Reximus, and yeah, it pisses me off. I need to... Was scrapping the EU a mistake? No. Yes, I do, Hazardous. So here's the thing. If you want to dislike her, sure. If you want to not approve of her, sure. That's not what people do, though. If I could use a parallel to Kathleen Kennedy, you know that people were emailing toxic comments and death threats to Cyberpunk developers over the past couple weeks? So, why do you think that's acceptable? Does that make my point? If not, I could keep trying. Because I'm terrible at describing my points. I don't. I don't know how to communicate. I never have. Like, be upset about her? Sure. Spew toxicity? Quit it. Rule 0. By the way, what's funny is you guys also seem to be forgetting the fact that I don't like the sequel trilogy at all. I mean, there's some good points there. But I shouldn't even say that because, you know, that's just going to, once again, cause issues. Well, what's funny about that, Chemic, is even if I suddenly took over, the Star Wars, when I take over Disney, you know, it's okay. Damn it, Alex. That's a good one. Words. What was I saying? I would have probably nuked the EU as well. I would have just done it better. Because the problem is what they did is they pulled the plug. They did that thing, there's a term for that. They did that thing where they took away all of your candy, and then over time they decided to give you another piece of candy back and act like it's a big deal. Here, you can have this one back. A few more, you know, another year passed. Oh, you can have this one back. And that's the approach they used. And that's stupid. That's not true. It's not stupid. It's evil. It's anti-consumer, if you want me to be specific about my terminology. So, I hate that. What I would have done... Hello, Myron. What I would have done is I would have looked at the EU and be like, okay, here's the deal. We want to sit down and codify Star Wars. We want to hammer it out. Really, officially, no really. This is Telor. See you around, MK fan. You're awesome. Sorry. And release the Chronicles books for Star Wars. That's what I would have done. I would have sit down and spent the time and effort and work and announced, guys, what we're doing is we're ironing all this out. These are the things that are staying. These are the things that are going. Release a book about it. Sell the book. People will buy it. Just like they bought WoW Chronicles. I have all 3 in the other room over there. Right? And there would be a lot of cherry picking, because of course they fricking would. Well, yeah, that's just, oh god, there's a term for that. Counter-reactionism hazardous? Something like that? I know, Jordan, it's kind of sad if I'm being honest, but whatever. But yeah, you get my point. Okay, so I didn't even see your question, Gum Gum, I'm sorry. Now, should Kathleen Kennedy be in charge of Star Wars? No. No, that's an easy one. But God, you would not... I mean, you would absolutely believe some of the dreck I have seen spewed at her. Hey, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton. So it's entirely possible I misspoke, but I'm pretty sure the very first thing I said when it came to the Kathleen Kennedy concept was, I think people are too hard on her. And I think people tend to forget. Pretty sure that's what I said. I could be wrong. Of course there would, Silver Mask. You cannot please everyone. And I hate to sound all pragmatic, but at some point in time, you do need to acknowledge that you cannot please everyone. That's life. It sucks, because I'd rather please everyone. But that is life. Let's see if this... Oh my god, does that completely ignore the wind? That's hysterical. Check it out. Whee! That makes sense because it's a water effect. I would if I could, Muddy. I would if I could. It's not a joke. That brings up an interesting question, though. Who should be the mainliner for Star Wars? And I'll be honest, I don't actually think I have an answer for that. I can't picture one person that I know of off the top of my head who I would not respect. What's the word? I feel like it starts with an R. Trust? We'll just go trust. That I would trust with Star Wars. I don't know why R. Dave Filoni, maybe. I'll give you that one. The man at least knows what to do from a long-term arc perspective. And he knows how to tie things in very nicely, so he's probably the closest we got right now. Lucas? No. Absolutely not. No. But I'll give you Filoni. Maybe Favreau. Anyways, I finally got your question, Gum Gum. And you said, do I think that people who do not vote have no right to complain about the government? No. Because, as I talked about earlier, you probably missed this. Oh yeah, having Filoni and Favreau? That would be great. As I talked about earlier, there are many, 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 many possible reasons, especially here in the States, why people would be de-invested from voting, especially since their vote doesn't really matter in many cases. So the idea of, you know, punishing someone for being brought down by a system they don't believe in is not really something I'm super on board with, you know? I mean, Favreau also made Iron Man, which is a lot of where my trust in him comes from, but let's not go into that. I would be totally down for Lucas being an executive advisor. No, an advisor, not executive. Let me rock that back down there. What if the Godzilla... Oh my god, Bio. I don't know, dude. Okay. You know what I liked about Godzilla? The original. The only Godzilla film I actually liked? No mount. I'm never going to get that mount. Or pet, or whatever it is. I like that it was more about the people than about the monsters. There you go. Bam. That answers your question. No, Mr. Red. I'd have to think about that, though. Would Timothy Zahn be a good mainliner? I don't know. Leaning towards yes, admittedly. Yes, there is Gum Gum. Which one was the 2014 film? Well, I mean, people are still rapid-firing questions, Crazy Russ, and I'm still having trouble keeping up, so we're probably not cutting off at this point, anyways. Is there such a thing as good romance? Oh, yeah. I've seen it before. Oh, you mean in fiction? Yes, still. Oh, the Walter White one. I mean, sure. Okay, so I wouldn't call those films that I like so much as films that I enjoyed, because they were stupid fun. The problem was they did the exact opposite of what I was talking about. Rather than being far more focused far more than being focused on the people, they were focused on the monsters. And the people were just kind of bonus points. And also terribly done. Really? Okay. Like, I'm sorry, the human plot of King of Monsters was dumb, I think is the nicest and simplest way I can put that. It's fun, Slim Jim. It's enjoyable. It gets me stuff. It's a nice way to enjoy the combat, pass the time. It helps me to think clearly and straight. I don't have anything else to that, though. Oh, right, duh. Favorite bonus boss in all of FF? Probably Ruby Weapon. I'd have to think about that more, though. No, you're completely right, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton. They don't acknowledge that much. It was actually one of the bigger failings of BFA, and the fact that BFA... Let's go through this in order. There's a major invasion that is followed by a major invasion, that is followed by a major global war, that is followed by a major invasion of another planet, that is followed by the biggest invasion that has ever happened in the history of the entire setting. No, that's not me exaggerating. Which is followed by another global war. Do you see the problem here? Thank you, Slim Jim Reborn. Always appreciate. Thank you. I need to kill him first. I do not want to get sanded. I hate sand! There we go, we're good. Now, I'm sanded! Oh, I got sanded! Damn it! He sanded me! As he was dying, he sanded me. Well, I'm just stuck here for 17 seconds. Favorite and least favorite Kingdom Hearts plot point? Barring time travel? Oh, come on. Okay, barring time travel, my least favorite plot point is the original ending of Kingdom Hearts 3. There we go. I have no idea, Silver Mask. I don't know anyone who would be a good showrunner for that, off the top of my head. Oh, of course. It's getting everywhere, Hazardous. Oh yeah, so this is gonna make noise. I can't mute this. I'm literally incapable of muting this. So, loud warning. I'm gonna try and talk over it, though. Actually, this is also one of the only unskippable cutscenes in the entire game. No joke. You cannot skip this cutscene. Unless they fixed... I should check if they fixed it. Nope, they didn't fix it, so I'm just going to talk here for a second, just kind of talking over this. So Ira Steven Bear is not someone whose overall design decisions are the kind of things I agree with, and if you want to know more why, just go watch my Deep Space Nine ruminations, because I talk about it constantly. Yep, nope, they did not fix it. We're just stuck here. Which franchise has outstayed its welcome? Whatever it is you dislike. Your preference on that. What makes me dislike anime as a medium? Experience. Yes, this is a glitch. This glitch has been in here for a long time, and God, this is so loud. Oh my God. That's why I'm talking over that. Holy crap. Okay, I think it's done. Yeah, we're done. Okay. Whew. Okay. Actually, a review run of WoW is something that is on my want list of things I'd like to review someday, if that answers your question. I'm not sure how much, though. I'll have to do some studies. Why were the Zandalar enemies in Pandaria when we allied with them at BFA? Politics. Go watch, I guess that would be the Pandaria lore run, where we talk about it a little bit, and then the BFA premiere run, where we talk about it even more. Do I have a video about the Magcar allied race line? No, I don't really have that stuff. In fact, in several cases, I may never have a video about it, because you can't repeat a lot of those quests. If I missed a question, I missed a question. Feel free to repeat it. Any plausible sense in which progress has taken place in international relations? What? Is there any plausible sense in which progress has taken place in international relations? I'm sorry, I don't understand that at all. Oh yeah, favorite Kingdom Hearts plot point. Spoilers for Kingdom Hearts. Spoilers. The nobodies actually have hearts. Spoilers are done. Oh, that's true. We haven't had, global wars since then. That's a good point. I do think international politics have certainly changed dynamically in the last century at this point. A little less than a century, but we're getting there. If you asked me why, well, God, that's a long and complex issue, and I'd have to think about that for a while. So, that's not a question I can answer right now, is my answer to that. No, nowadays we have other things we do. Whether it's better or worse, that's up to you. Do I think Picard would make a good admiral? I think he'd make a good fleet admiral. Now, in Star Trek, that's not necessarily true, but the general idea is instead of being an admiral behind a desk, he's an admiral in a ship. That's the meaning I have. Favorite sword in all of fiction? Favorite Zelda game is Twilight Princess. Easy answer. Yeah, no kidding, Spinobi. Well, it's a good thing, because Janeway got to Admiralty before Picard or Sisko. Ready for the most boring boss in the whole game? That's a lie. There's worse bosses than this, but this is a boring fight. I do love this sword, though, quite a bit. It's an awesome one. Has politics been affected by expansion of force? I have no idea. Congrats, Actaft. Yeah, I figured you'd fight him as the Hulk, because that's just... Why did I shave my head? Sick. I was lethally sick, and after a while, having hair was a problem. That's the summary, if you'll forgive me for not going into too much more detail. So I shaved it all off. Bzzz. Gone. I keep it shaved as a mark of shame, though. How worried should we be about China? That's up to you. I have no idea, Patriot. I actually don't. Nintendo is quickly joining the ranks of Square Enix in companies that I simply lack the ability to predict, because their decisions make no damn sense. What's my favorite JRPG not made by Square Enix? Yeah, everything on the short list, Mr. Red. What is there to be ashamed of, Spinobi? I'm guessing you weren't here earlier when I mentioned that there would be no point in the ideal of ideal circumstances to be the dictator of a country. That should answer your question. Do I like Fast the Furious? I mean, when they got silly and ridiculous, I started enjoying them more. How much would it cost to get me to review the cartoon spin-off on Netflix? Next year, we will open up for new streaminations. All streaminations of all shows will have to go through that process. And it will depend entirely on everything individual to the specific thing with regards to how long the episodes are, how many episodes there are, etc., etc., etc. Have I seen the Orville? Kind of, but not really. Is Papaneeks leaving? Yes. Favorite Nintendo console generation? SNES or current? Followed by GameCube. Followed by Wii U. After that, I'd have to think about it. Marvel video games? Yeah, I've played a few, but Spider-Man PS4 is probably the best one I've played so far. Is Alex Korbiniki insane? Yes. What do you think of Neuralink? Don't know what that is. Would I put any Star Trek show in my top 5 sci-fi shows? Yeah, I'd put at least 2 of them up there. That would be TNG and DS9. Hey, Buddha. Hope you're doing well. Give me one moment, Alex. Oh, I don't actually remember Paranoid. At least 6 years ago. Thoughts on the death penalty? God, should I answer that question? What do you guys think? Should I answer Colin Pelissa's question? With the other 3 slots? I don't know. That's a question I'm not sure I want to answer. I'm pretty sure I have answered that question before, yes. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of these questions are repeats from previous Polemic days, but that's okay. There's no complaining. I'm just pointing it out. That's duh, right? We get new people. Not everyone's there for the previous one. Sometimes the VODs don't go up. It makes sense. And obviously, my opinion changes over time, too. So... I'm not so much in favor of the death penalty as I am saying hello to Gary. I'm not so much in favor of the death penalty as I am against life imprisonment. I think that's actually the simplest way I can answer that. If those are the 2 options, kill them. Now, the problem is, it is obviously way more complex than that. And that's why I hesitated so much on answering that question, because there's a lot of layers there. There's a lot of gray, malleable, in-betweeny there. So, Alex, you didn't even put that towards... Oh, I guess you put it towards everything on the short list. How big is the... Actually, I answered that earlier, Gum Gum. There's 11 games on the list. I was about to say, how many are there so I can just math this out? Okay, so I'll put it towards 10 games on the list. You got it. Let me... give me a second here. Remind me who Quibi is, Silver Mask. There we go. Yeah, even here in the States, life imprisonment is more of a paperwork thing than a reality thing. Thank you very, very much, Alex. Always appreciate, sir. Thank you so, so much. And yeah, that's why people get multiple life sentences. There's actually a phrase that most people, you probably never heard of, unless you've looked into it. It's called off the grid. which is where that kind of thing comes to fall into. It's a whole thing. I don't want to go into it specifically. Am I expecting trick-or-treaters? No! No. Never gonna get that one either. There's so many things I've never gotten in this stupid dungeon. Will be worse for me. A game that depicts heavy issues like grief, suicide, or personal growth, or a game that botches its heavy issues. Probably the game that botches it, if I'm being honest. Nope, I always go the wrong way first. Where's my Halloween costume? Right here. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Silver Mask. So, I'm sorry, the question was how surprised am I that I'm botching? The answer is absolutely none whatsoever. Is there a game I veto only based on the length? I didn't veto Persona 5, and we will probably never surpass that game in terms of sheer length. That being said, probably not. We'll see. Where am I at with questions? Oh yeah, death penalty. I guess I kind of already answered you. See, the problem with the death penalty is, and I actually discussed this in my Babylon 5 ruminations, because flat earthers don't exist. Because the problem is, it's not the death penalty itself, just like it's not the death of personality itself that's actually the problem. See you around, S.A. Ross. It's how do you determine who gets it, and how do you execute it, and who has the power of implementation. That's what that really boils down to. Now, it's not quite the same issue, because obviously death of personality is the kind of thing where if that got out, that would be horrible, whereas anybody can kill someone. But I feel like I already gave my opinion here when I mentioned I'd rather a guilty person go free than an innocent person be convicted. So that's why I'm so hesitant on giving a definitive answer there. People are bored and stupid and dumb and idiots, Dean Badine. That's the answer to that one. How many people were needed for these when we came out? This is a 25-man raid that I'm doing right now. Specifically 25-man because I'm doing the mythic version. How can you say the artist... How much can you say the artist... Death of author. So... This boss's achievement? I don't even remember which one this one was. Which one was this one? Oh, that one. Oh, God, that was such a pain to do. Okay, so you need a group. I think it's 3 people minimum in order to make that work. I forget. You need a minimum number of people. I don't remember how many. That is the absolute minimum you can do it with. And you're probably going to want a healer. That's kind of an inaccurate question, Goofy Movie. However, I will answer you that this is my main character. It is my new main character, but not my old one. Can Twitch do anything about that? No. You know who can do something about that? The mods that she, or whoever they are, actually specifically elect in chat. That's what Twitch can do about that, is they can give tools that they have done to the actual streamers, or the streamers' mods, in order to get rid of the problems. Now, I am not an attractive woman, but I employ that in exactly the same way as if I were. In short, if someone is a dick on stream, or if someone comes in and tries to post dick pictures, or spam, or give, links to virus-riddled sites, or otherwise does something that's inappropriate, just like the situations you're proposing, guess what? They're banned. The end. No, Magister. Now, do I want to be an attractive woman? No, I'm a guy. Sorry. I will admit I don't care that much which body I'm in, because I am a guy, but nevertheless, I'm not particularly seeking out to be in a female body. Most underrated Disney movie in my opinion. Zootopia. Pass. We love Kirby. Too hot. That's way too hot button of a topic right now. Well, that was a hard quest. Richard will be the answer to that, Chemic. Zootopia might actually be my favorite Disney movie of all time. I'd have to think about that. But it's up there at the very least. Most overrated Disney movie of all time. Yes, it was Disco. Depends, Myron. Case by case. I'm leaning between Lion King, Little Mermaid, and Frozen. And by the way, I like all three of those films. In fact, I think all three of those are excellent films. But they are also the ones that get all the attention. Which I suppose is the definition. Favorite MCU films? Ant-Man and the Wasp is probably towards the top. After that, I would probably go with Infinity War. Avengers 1 would be very high up on the list. After that, I'd have to think about it. Thoughts on furries? I don't know, dude. I think my honest thought about that is I don't care. And I don't mean that to be dismissive towards you, it's just I really don't. Damn it, I was too slow. I suck. Yeah, safe, sane, consensual, you know what I mean? That's what I think about that. That's a good answer. Thank you, Brigman, for reminding me there. Oh, I'm sorry. My least favorite MCU movies. I apologize. I feel like I said that during the ruminations, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm not doing Nyalotha. It's too modern. Legion and earlier. Early Legion and earlier. So, no, Alex. Yeah, okay, if we're counting 2008's Hulk, which I'm not, by the way, because that's not an MCU film, but if I was to count that, that would be my least favorite. There you go. Bam, we're done. Yeah, I can't solo Nyalotha, man. Sorry. See, when I went back through them with analysis mode, most of the ones I remember not liking, I actually liked a lot more than I thought. I liked more than the previous time around, you know what I mean? So at this point, you're just asking me to pick a film that I'll still enjoy, but I like less than other films. So I guess that's my answer to you. I don't have an MCU film I don't like. Even the ones that don't shine the same are still enjoyable to me. Most proud moment in WoW history? Hey Gary, you still there? Because he can verify this. Why are you not dead? Oh, duh. There we go. That's fine. He's probably left. So... Ulduar. Algalon. We were with another tank. I don't remember his name. He was a warrior. And he was not a good tank. To put that as absolutely nicely as I possibly can. Now, I don't know how much you know about the Algalon fight. That fight was mean from a tank perspective. Because both tanks, it wasn't just... Oh, that's right, it was... Anyway, so it was a person. I will go ahead and not mention the character name. It doesn't matter anyways. He'll probably never see this, but to avoid whatever. So the Algalon tank fight is real. Now, everyone in the Algalon fight had something to do, but my point is, it's not just a tank, off-tank, tank, off-tank situation. The tank is busy 100% of the time, and the off-tank is busy 100% of the time. It's very difficult to do. We're both warriors. He's not that great of a tank. I'm in Ventrilo. I pull off to a separate channel with just him. What I then had to do was tank Algalon while telling him what to do on the other side of tanking Algalon, while accommodating Ventrilo lag and just general latency. That might be the single most impressive thing I have ever done in this game. I cannot put into words, like, unless I actually sat down and went through the play-by-play with you, then you will not properly understand how big of a deal that was. Unless you've actually done the fight, in which case you obviously already understand. I'm not at that level anymore, I'll tell you what. Oh yeah, by the way, Gary over there, Parsaska in chat, he was a druid healer for that particular run. And yeah, he was the healing officer for that run, and he had to accommodate the fact that, because there were screw-ups, you know, I'm not perfect, and I was trying to help someone who is not a good tank through lag, through what at the time was, and arguably still is, one of the most complicated tank fights in the entire game. So Gary was kind of covering the cracks. You know what I mean? So I don't want to take full credit for that, but I am very proud of that fight. Oh, absolutely, Spinobi. Some of the stuff you can do in this game is legitimately very challenging. It's usually at the higher end of stuff, but yeah, no. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I did, Bamber Boozler. I got to play Frost DK back when they were awesome. Don't know anything about it, Gum Gum. Sorry. Hang on. Gotta wait a second, because it's weird. Favorite WoW expansion for the content? Pandaria or Legion? One of the two. There we go. Well, thank you, Magister. So, someone asked me to share the Quiet Revenge story. Do you guys mind if I share that story? This is an old story. This is a while ago. This was before flying was added to the old world, to give you an idea of how long ago this was. So this is pre-Kata. I believe this was the Wrath era. So there's these... I could show you them. In fact, I can show you the exact achievement. It's the Slim Jim Reborn achievement. I can't put it towards black and white. It's already funded. No, and he's gone. He's gone. He left. He left before I could tell him. It's updated on the website. I bothered to update it just so people could see that Pokemon was funded. Okay, dealer's choice. Thank you, Slim Jim Report. Pandaria is my number 2, Magister, with Legion at the number 1. After that, I'd have to think about it. Anyways, the achievement is World Events. God, which was the specific one? I think it was Children's Week. That might not be it. It's one of these. No, that's not it. That was another thing. Which was the specific one? Hollow's End, maybe? That might have been Hollow's End. No, okay, so I was a horde. You know, I was actually on my Undead Warrior at the time. Not the character I'm on right now, but I still have that character. I had to walk into Ironforge, interact with... I'm pretty sure it was a Halloween thing, because I feel like I had to get the candy bucket. It wasn't that far in, but I had to go in, and simply walking in flags you. So I'm PvP flagged. I'm just there to get my achievement. I don't want to fight other players. So I walk in, you know, get flagged, get the achievement, run off. A couple players chase after me. 2 Alliance players chase after me. Now... I happen to know the area pretty well because I used to play Alliance, so I knew the routes to take that most players wouldn't be aware of, and I managed to stay mostly ahead of them for the most part. So I figured I'd just get away far enough, mount, and then leave. But they stayed so close to me that I couldn't stop to hearth. Now, that's what I just did, for those of you not familiar with this game. You notice how I had to take 10 seconds? Well, if I was interrupted during those 10 seconds, I wouldn't hearth, they would catch up to me, they would fight me. So, obviously I was trying to avoid that. I didn't want to fight them. I'm not here to PvP. I'm not here to give you the satisfaction of the kill, or the satisfaction of making it so that I have to fight you. I just wanted my achievement, and I'm leaving. So I'm running on foot, which is at about this pace right here, trying to get the hell out of Dodge, and as I'm running away, they're so close to me that I can't mount and I can't hearth. Eventually, however, here, I'll pull it up on the map so you can really see where... Hello. There we go. Dinmarogue, here we go. So, eventually I get to right about here-ish. You can't see the mouse, but it's like middle-ish. Here we go. So I'm like, okay, they've stopped following me. Cool, cool. No problem. Well, I also have to get an item up here in Loch Madon. Come on, game. I have to get a thing in Loch Madon right here in Thelsamar, right? So I go through the lower pass here, in the lower left, and I come out, and when I get to about here, it turns out that one of them had gone back and flown to Thelsamar to get ahead of me, and was now beelining for me. Now, I'm explaining... this whole thing was a very specific thing, but I want to be very clear about how I'm describing this. There was no escape. Because of the fact that I had to go there, because of the fact that they were already beelining to me on mounts, and because of the fact that, you know, the hearthing takes 10 seconds, the moment they have spotted me, I am effectively doomed. Like, they are going to lock me into combat, and I cannot get away from them. Now, I'm playing a protection warrior. That's a tank. I'm a good protection warrior. At least I used to be. Not anymore, because I suck at everything. But I used to be a good protection warrior. So, what happens is they knock me off the mount. Actually, I got off the mount now that I'm thinking about it, but it doesn't matter. I get off the mount, and I start running up north, away from the town, trying to get as far away as I possibly can. This whole time, they're doing this thing, because if you ever see PvP players, this is just what they do. They're like, it's really dumb and stupid. Anyways, so they're doing that, just running around me like a maniac, trying to slowly whittle me down, trying to kill me. Now, you're probably thinking, Laura, why didn't you just turn to fight them? In World of Warcraft, when you PvP flag, a timer starts. 5 minutes after that incident which flagged you happens, the flag goes away. I had about a minute, maybe 40 seconds. It was not long. I had a little bit of time left on the timer by the time I get to this point. So I'm like, okay, no problem. My goal is now to outlast them. So I run up north. I can point you to the exact spot I got to because I remember it quite distinctly. I made it to right up here. You can't quite see where my mouse is, of course, but kind of dead center in the map there, in between those, just north of that crossroads, just south of the mine. I made it up to there. I'm on the verge of death, and I actually thought they got me for a second. Flag drops. Now, I'm at like 1% health. I'm on the verge of death. But they can't attack me anymore. Now, a niggle I deliberately didn't mention in this story is if I did anything back to them at all, I would have reflagged, because I would now be fighting them, and that would renew the timer, right? And renew my PvP flag. So what I had to do the entire time is passively live and passively use cooldowns without targeting them, without attacking them, in order to survive, which meant there were certain things I couldn't do as a warrior to live, because some of those are reactive, right? Like you hit an enemy, you get health back, just stuff like that. So I couldn't do any of that. But I successfully didn't target them, didn't renew my flag, survived long enough for the flag to drop. Slash bow. Heal up. Go grab the thing in Thelsamar, and leave. Probably the thing I remember most distinctly and amusedly is in that moment when the flag dropped, I stopped dead. Not partially because I thought I was dead for a second, but also because, you know, oh, there's no reason to keep running. They're still doing this thing, like, oh, God, quick, shit, and they're still doing this around me. And it took them several seconds, probably like 3 or 4 seconds, before they were like, wait, why can't we hit him? And you could just see it. Like, you could see it, pop into the players' minds as they just stop, like, wait. Wait. Why can't we hit him anymore? Jackasses. You know what? Hang on. For old time's sake, give me a sec. Give me a sec. And yes, Lochmadon is Alliance territory. You are quite correct. It kind of is Fabian tactics. Yeah, there. Yeah, I'll get on my paladin. Do you mind if I show you where it happened? Because I could show you the spot. So you can really see what I was seeing. I should be in Stormwind right now? Where the heck am I? I will, Gary. Don't worry. Goodbye. I am in Stormwind. What's the fastest way up there? It might just be to fly. No. I'll do this. Love Stormwind. I love Alliance music in general. Favorite comedy movies? I suppose Spaceballs is the easy answer. If that counts. By the way, does anybody have any more real questions? Because if not, we're going to wind down pretty soon here. I mean, we are getting close to when we would be cutting off anyways. Now, Hazardous, I caught your question. That's an interesting question. You know what? You know how nations used to get involved in the governance of other nations as a regular policy? So, my answer to your statement is whether or not you think that's a good thing would determine your answer to that. Why wouldn't you name history channels I like? Oversimplified, extra history, History Matters. There you go, that's my big 3. Kira, Bragwin, could you invite Kira White Noise, please? Ha, Rax, but you know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you don't. I shouldn't presume that. But yeah, legally speaking, the idea of every nation voting in another nation's elections is just super not happening. And I will, Lord Harriman. God, the terrain has changed a little bit, but this is roughly the path I was following. Obviously, I was going a lot slower, but, you know, we're trying to speed this up a little bit. Guilty Pleasure film, Van Helsing. I actually answered that earlier. Guilty Pleasure TV show? I'm not sure I have one. Nah, go ahead, Vigilant. I'm ready. I'm ready. You can always say no. Just go over. Screw it. It also, if we're being honest, it also boils back down to no Don Crone. I never will. It also boils back down to that: are you more interested in the popular vote versus the alternative option? No, I have not, Jordan. No time. Favorite European country? I don't think I have a favorite European country. They're all good. Except for that one. But other than that, they're all good. Yep, nope, this is the path. This is about the speed I was going, although I was on... hang on. Actually, I gave those thoughts earlier, Vigilant. But admittedly, I will admit that a lack of information is diminishing my ability to comment on them with any validity. Here, we'll get on this thing. One of my favorite mounts anyways. Boop. Okay. So hang on. Back up a bit. So by this point, they've already dismounted me and they're wrecking me. Oh god, kill. Dying. Must get it. And you notice I'm on the mount, which I'm just showing off to get across the idea Oh yeah, the EU is a confederation. To get across an idea of exactly how far I made it. Because we're still not there. We're almost there, we're almost there, almost there. And here. Right... Sorry, I overshot it a little bit. Right here is the spot I made it to. Getting wrecked the entire time. See? There's the crossroads I mentioned. There's the mine. Right on this little hill-looking thing. And yeah, I made it quite a ways. I honestly, if I'm being honest, and I think I said this the last time I shared this story, by about, say, like another 200 feet that way, I'm like, I'm not going to live through this. I'm not going to make it. They're going to get me at the last thing, and I'm going to die, and this was all a pointless exercise. I should have just let them have the satisfaction of being dicks and gotten it over with. And that was what was running through my head. But I'm an obstinate, stubborn bastard. So I just kind of kept going. Slash bow. One of them was a rogue, Lord Harrimont. I honestly don't remember the other one. It was a dwarf, so warrior, paladin, priest. I don't think it was a priest, though. Because they were doing this thing, and priests don't do that. I can't even do it at the rate they do it. God. If I fought them, could I have won? If I fought them, I would probably have about a 50% chance of winning. Now, that's not great odds. But again, that is also not the point. The whole point was I was not interested in just wasting my time engaging in PvP conflict when I had no interest in engaging in PvP conflict. I'm not a PvPer anymore. I haven't been for a long time. Not since vanilla. I just blew my heart to get out here. Yeah, I don't think it was a paladin. I think it was a warrior. I might be misremembering. I know one of them was a rogue. Do I find Polemic Day refreshing? That's a little exhausting. It's more stressful walking into it than walking out of it, though. By the way, we'll be discussing the stream gates and streaming funding tomorrow. Please be present for that. Any other questions, guys? Thank you, Savacom. I actually spent some time on that one. See you around, Myron. Enjoy the randomizer. Yeah, I know, Hasdus. You already know the topic I'm going to bring up. Open it wide or seal it shut. Tomorrow is lore week, and we will be discussing the show. I was saying, this feels like a good wrap-up point. This feels like a good wrap-up point. And I got an airship. It's very important, having an airship. Yes, Mike Romano. Yes, we'll also be covering My Little Pony tomorrow as well. Yeah. Some people say I have a website. I think they're just lying on Falkenstein. Predictions for 2021? Okay, legitimately, I'm guessing that the next 4 years are going to involve nothing happening. A whole lot of... nothing. I don't know how else to put that. As far as next year in terms of crises, well, let's just say that when I conquer the world... Thank you, Luna. Or Lune Ruth, excuse me. That's not the sun. That's a portal to another dimension. But oh, there's this. I was gonna say at this point, the sun should be on its way down. But there it is. Because there are actually 24-hour days in game in WoW, which used to cause issues. Because if you only ever had time to play at night, then you only ever had time to play at night. So it was always night. Will I play Shadowlands on stream? That will be up to you guys. So WoW expansions, each expansion will be funded as a separate run. If you guys decide to fund a run for Shadowlands, that will be where that happens. God, I love flying in Old World, by the way. I know some people hate flying mounts. I am not one of those people. Do I think we're likely to solve climate problems, or for all of us to die? Which do I think is more likely? Truth be told, I think it's more likely we'll figure it out. We as a species have a weird habit of screwing things up and then fixing our messes, and then screwing things up and fixing our messes. And if I could, that's a great question to end on this, if that's okay with you guys. I think I'm going to make that the last question there, because I'm of the unpopular opinion that things have gotten better over time. I think that things are bad, but doing better. And getting, and being good. I don't know how to phrase that. It's such a weird thing, but you know what I mean, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like for all the nonsense, for all the crap, for all the horribleness, for all the pragmatism, for all the issues, I really do think that we as a species have actually managed to move forward, not back. My opinion. So, we'll see. It doesn't really affect me. I'm just going to hit the next loop, go through the timeline again. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed this stream. Allow me to go ahead and answer the question, because I haven't actually answered this question yet. Excuse me. I think we're going to upload this VOD. I think this has been a successful Polemic Day, despite being 2020 and a major election year, as in all the elections year here in the States. Nevertheless, you guys have actually been legit. Thank you for continuing to prove me right about the fact that humanity is not that terrible. Now, I'm going to go check my Patreon and find out that 20 people stopped subscribing to me because they decided they didn't like what I said today. But I will see the rest of you guys tomorrow.